ito'y buhay. Upang pinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa dagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagkaw, ay hinatang tudla, tawid sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isla ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magtitingin. Lumanang araw ng walang pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang higaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Ayun, partner, kamusta ka naman diyan? How are you feeling for our today's event?
Hello, partner! Super excited ako for today's event and I'm looking forward for our today's speakers. Pero kayo ba dyan sa Facebook Live? Kamusta na kayo dyan? Comment your thoughts with the hashtag generational breakdown.
And hashtag onto the new chapter. So ayan, magbasa tayo ng ating mga comments dito din sa MC. Ayan. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Eunice, she's really looking forward daw sa ating mga speakers. Kasi nakita niya na nandito na yung ibang ating mga speakers. Hello po. Good afternoon. And I totally agree, Aries, na I'm really looking forward din sa ating mga speakers. Ikaw ba?
Yes,
Ikaw ba dyan?
excited tayong lahat. Ako, ang dami ko nakikita mga heart, mga participants natin.
Very active ang ating mga
Ayan.
participants.
So, ayun, di ba? Ang active nga naman talaga ng mga audience natin sa comment section.
Eto pa, sabi naman ni Miss Trina, ang fresh ng mga host natin. Oh, thank you naman. Thank you naman
Thank you
po.
po. Agree.
Okay,
Ayan,
ano
so,
pa? Sabi naman ni Miss Kiana. Ayan o, sabi ni Miss Kiana, looking forward daw siya sa mga questions later. Uy, mukhang magtatanong si Miss Kiana. Ano kaya itatanong nito?
dumihan niyo yung mga tanong nyo. Sabi ni
Tama.
Eliza, excited na daw siya sa icebreaker natin.
Ako din, I'm really looking forward. Bukod sa speaker, syempre sa ating icebreaker. Ano kaya ang ating icebreaker mamaya? Ito pa partner, sabi ni Mr. Albert Cabon, can't wait to learn. Oh,
Kami
talaga
rin, di
he's
ba?
really looking forward for this webinar.
Yes. Ayun, and that's it for now. Back to you, Mika.
Ayun. Good afternoon po. The stream has ended, but we are trying to get it back. Please bear with us. Thank you po.
Yes, good afternoon po. I'm sorry, I will interrupt lang po the program show. For a moment, the stream po sa Facebook Live namin has ended due to technical difficulties, but we're trying to get it back. So while waiting po, siguro na ma-up you ulit yung ating stream, pwede po muna siguro makipagkwentuhan with our hosts. Thank you po.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po. How are you po today?
Miss Jean. Hello po, Miss Jean. You are muted po. Ay, naka-unmute po
Okay.
kayo.
Yeah,
Ayun.
sorry.
Ayan, hello po.
Ayan. Hi, I'm good. I'm
Hello
good.
po.
I'm very excited for this session. Thank you so much for having me. Uh, I'm
Yeah, thank you
just
po.
I'm just fixing my background. I think
Ah,
I just have a different view, so I can't seem to navigate through it. Mas
Okay.
familiar kasi sa Zoom, sorry.
Yes po, okay lang. Thank you so much po.
Thank you,
Sino,
thank you.
partner? Sino pa nakikita mo mga speaker dito?
Speaker natin, sino pa ba? Wait lang, partner. Hanap pa tayo ng
Okay.
speaker.
Partner, si Miss Rodwelyn. Kumustahin natin si Miss Rodwelyn. Hi, Miss Rodwelyn po. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon po, Miss Rodeline.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Is my audio okay?
Yes po.
Yes
very,
po, ma'am.
Good
yeah,
to
very
know.
clear.
Good
Kumusta naman
afternoon.
po? How was
Yeah,
your day?
doing good. It's kind of early for me though. But it's I'm very excited in this session. I'm looking forward to the perspective of this generation. Actually, I'm very fond of this topic. As um, dealing with new um type of workers nowadays. So yeah, looking forward to my session later.
We're looking forward to po.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
po,
much
ma'am.
po. Partner, may nakikita ko parang si Christine and si Miss Rodwelyn pa lang yung nasa Miss Pink, right?
Yes. And very blooming nga mga host natin and speakers, di ba?
I
So,
agree.
hindi halatang sabi nga ni Miss Rodwelyn, still early. Pero, di ba, ang aga pero blooming na agad. So, thank you so much sa ating mga speakers for accepting our invitation po.
Ay, partner, huwag natin siyempre kakalimutan. Nandito din si Miss Rona Florentino. Hello po, good afternoon.
Hello, good
Afternoon po.
afternoon.
Yes
Hi.
po.
Hi,
Kumusta
good
naman
afternoon.
po? How was your day po this morning?
Okay naman, okay na okay dahil Friday, syempre bukas pahinga. So
Ay.
excited na ako. Excited ako sa pahinga. Excited din naman tayo for the session that we have for today.
Thank you po. To Miss si Miss Yona po, Rodwelyn, and Miss Pin po, if kaya po sana mapalitan po yung background na na-send po, na provided po. Yun.
Ano ba siya? Parang hindi ko siya ma-access.
Ay, okay lang po.
Do you need help po, ma'am?
Yes po. Parang ano siya, doon sa background settings, wala akong option na
Apo.
i-add yung
Yeah,
image.
same. Pa-help na lang,
I
please.
guess po ano po kayo, hindi po siya mismong app, right?
I
Naka-app.
downloaded the app din.
Naka-app po.
Yeah.
Okay. Kasi pag naka-web po, I mean, pagka nasa
Yeah, yung
website po,
browser
wala po
dito.
talaga. Yes po, browser dito.
Apo.
Wala po talaga.
Yeah, I tried downloading the app as well. Ayaw pa rin. Like, blur lang yung nakikita.
Yeah, same here.
Okay lang naman din po if wala kayong
Opo.
background. Carry lang po. Important lang naman po nandun kayo mamaya. Thank you po.
Thank you so much po.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you. Huh?
Ayan, partner. Kamustahin naman natin ang ating mga participants na nandito sa MS Teams. Kamusta kayo dyan? Mag-comment, mag-chat kayo sa ating comment section. Since nakamusta na natin ang speakers, participants naman. Oh, sabi ni Miss Serena, okay lang daw. And sabi niya, excited for the topic from speakers. Yeah, we are all excited. So, ang mga
Yes.
topic.
Marami tayong hinanda for this afternoon.
At sabi, partner ni Sheikah, excited na po. Woo! Meron pa talaga siyang pasigaw. Talagang mararamdaman natin na he's very excited for today's webinar.
Yes, yung energy talaga ng mga participants natin. Ramdam natin kahit through virtual lang.
partner. Um, Ayun po, Ma'am Jean, Miss Rona po. Ito po, I'll be sending the instructions po for kung paano po magpalit ng background if yes po. Ito po. Pero if hindi po talaga, okay lang.
Where are you sending it?
Ay, here po sa meeting chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you po.
Thank you.
Bale, meron pong parang more background effects na may plus sign po na meron po dito. Tapos add new. Tapos select lang po yung background. Okay lang po if wala po talaga.
Yes.
Okay lang po.
I don't think it's working. Like, it's either blur or no blur.
Okay lang. Thank you
Okay
po.
lang po. Thank you po. Ayan, so kausapin naman ulit natin yung mga participants natin.
Tama.
Asa
O,
na ba
kamusta
sila?
kayo
Comment
dyan?
naman kayo para
Bukod sa excited, ano pang nararamdaman ng ating mga participants ngayon?
lahat sila excited, no? Ramdam talaga natin yung excitement. Kasi nakaka-excite naman talaga yung event natin for
Tama.
this afternoon.
Partner, sabi ni Miss Eliza, gutom po. Okay. Siyempre,
Gutom
habang
po.
makikinig tayo sa ating mga speakers, sa ating mga nagagandahan at tagagapuhang mga speakers, pwede naman kayong kumain dyan ng kung ano mang pwede niyong makain sa
Yes.
sa inyong comfort. So, next, ano po partner na nababasa mo dyan?
Ako nabasa ko, sabi ni Miss Eunice, busog daw siya. So, baliktad sila ni Eliza.
Miss Eunice,
Busog
bigyan mo
naman
ng pagkain si Miss Eliza para naman mabusog din siya.
Para parehas ko yung busog, di ba? Mamaya, habang ongoing yung event, you guys can eat. Tapos, mabubusog din kayo sa mga mapupulot nating aral. Hindi ba, partner?
Tama.
Win-win situation.
Eto partner, sabi ni Miss Gianna Maulin, kinikilig po. Bakit kaya siya kinikilig for today's video?
Pa-share naman ang kilig, Miss Gianna.
Paampunan din naman po kami dito. Okay, partner.
Ayan, and we're back on live, partner.
Hello everyone! Kamusta kayo?
Ayan, we're sorry for the technical difficulties. Hindi natin may iwasan eh.
Tama. Pero,
Ayun.
ayan ang reality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a blessed afternoon to all our honorable guests, speakers, and fellow students who are with us here today in Facebook Live. Hello everyone, my name is Micaela.
And I am Aries, and we are your hosts for today. So, ayun, partner. Since nabasa na natin yung mga comments ng mga participants kanina, let us continue with the event.
Tama.
Ayan. And for this event, will be officially opened. To welcome us into the event, may we call on our graceful and hardworking Executive Director, Ms. Sheila Louise Serrano. Let us all welcome her with a round of applause.
Ayan. So, thank you everyone for the warm greetings. Grabe, no? Talagang warm ba talaga ako? Ayun, sige. Okay, so mag-opening remarks daw ako. So, magandang buhay. My name is Sheila Louise Serrano, the current Executive Director of the People Management Society for the academic year 2022 and 2023. So, I welcome you to our event. Thank you very much for bearing with us sa technical difficulties. So before I deliver my opening remarks, I would like to apologize para dun sa technical difficulties na ating um, kinaharap. No? Pasensya na po na medyo natagalan. But we're now back sa streaming. So please be with us sa whole session natin for today. Ayan. So, for aking opening remarks, as we all know, that the only constant thing in life is change. And throughout the generations, we have saw or we have seen how much change have we experienced now from Generation X, Generation Y, and then from us in Generation Z. So this event will aim to tackle the generational gap we are experiencing in this era. This webinar will also have a roundtable discussion to attempt to answer the questions, are we, the incoming generation of HR, the best or worst? So, ayun, ang daming nakakabit sa ating mga pangalan ng Generation Z na tayo daw yung best and sometimes tayo yung worst. But are we really those two? Or meron pa tayong pwedeng idagdag? So, we'll find it out later. I hope you enjoy this webinar and sana meron tayong makuha na at sa ating mga sessions, sa ating mga speakers, sa ating mga hosts, and sana mag-enjoy kayo sa aming mini icebreaker mamaya. I would also like to welcome everyone, lalo na sa aming mga partners na yung JPMAP Batangas State University, Pablo Borbon Chapter, JPMAP SLSU, JPMAP 𝐏𝐚𝐬 Main, and JPMAP 𝐏𝐚𝐬 Imus. Thank you very much for partnering with us. And I would also like to welcome our speakers that will impart us their knowledge and their wisdom later. Ayun lamang, sana mag-enjoy tayo lahat. Thank you and magandang buhay. Bye!
Thank you, Miss Sheila, for our warm welcoming remarks and PM Talkers. As Miss Sheila said, we hope you enjoy our event today. Right, partner?
Yes, but before we get into our main event, para mas masaya, partner, di ba? Mag-icebreaker muna tayo. This is what everyone has been waiting for.
I agree. An icebreaker will be a great way to keep our audience active. Sa mga audience natin dyan, kailangan lang dito ng inyong very sharp memory and childhood memory about our Filipino snacks. Dahil ang ating laro ngayon ay
Guess that snack, the nostalgic Filipino snacks version. So are you guys curious about the house of our game? Pero before we start, type nyo nga muna dyan sa comment section. Let's go PMsoc para lang alam namin kung andyan pa ba kayo.
tama. Let's go, PMso! Ayan. Ayan, at mukhang excited na.
Ayan, ang dami ng comments, partner. Simulan na natin.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Since everyone is getting curious of today's icebreaker, let me give you a breakdown of the mechanics. Okay, the title of our icebreaker for today is Guess That Filipino Snack. 10 Filipino snacks will be flashed on the screen participants need to guess each snack. So, partner, ano ba yung ating right format sa pagsasagot sa ating comment section?
Ayan, please take note of our correct format, your name, dash, your answer. Yun lang po yung tatanggapin namin na correct answer. So, please take note.
And please also take note na meron tayong certain code na papakinggan bago tayo mag-comment, which is ikain niya na yan. So, yun ang ating magiging code,
Yes.
go signal, ikain niya na yan. Pag narinig niyo yun, participants, you can also send na your answers on our comment section. So, are you ready? If yes, bigyan niyo naman kami ng maraming heart reactions dyan or comments ready with our official hashtag, hashtag generational breakdown, and hashtag onto the new chapter.
Ayan, partner, parang umuulan na ng mga hearts dito. Feeling ko ready na sila.
Feeling ko din, partner. At kung dahil ready na ang ating mga viewers, let's jump into our easy round. So, for our first Filipino snack, uy, partner! Ano kaya yan? Sa ating mga
Ayan.
participants and viewers, ikain nyo na yan. Just send in your answers via comment section with the right format.
Yes, ang right format natin. Don't forget your name, dash, your answer. Partner, ano ba to? Nakakain ka na ba ng ganito, partner? Kasi parang hindi ako familiar.
Feeling ko, nabutin ba natin? Nagkakaliwila na ng edad dito sa ating icebreaker.
Iwasan pala natin mag-reveal ng mga ito dito. No?
Ayan,
Ayun, so,
nahihirapan
partner,
sila,
may nakikita ka na bang
partner.
sagot?
Wala pa. Mukhang nahihirapan
Wala
sila.
pa.
Okay, sabi ni Miss Erin sa ating comment section. Sabi ni Miss Erin, green peas daw. Green peas ba, partner?
Green peas! Partner, hindi. Parang wala naman ako nakikita green peas sa screen. Parang mali ata yung nakikita niyang picture.
Iba na ata yun, partner. Parang ibang... Hindi siya green peas. So, ano pa?
Wala pa kayo, guys. Dali.
Go, guys. Wala pa kayo. Ayan, partner. Sabi ni Miss Eunice, Maltesers daw.
Partner, hindi pa rin eh. Anti na lang. Malapit na. Dali. Hula-hula.
Go, guys. Mukhang nahihirapan sila, partner. I-reveal na ba natin?
Sige, reveal na natin yung answer para next na tayo.
For our first Filipino snack, let's all reveal it. Ano kaya yun?
Ayun!
Oh, it's teeny weeny cookies. Familiar ka ba dyan, partner?
Hindi pa, partner. Parang hindi pa ako nakakita ng ganyan sa tindahan. Hindi
Yeah.
ata. Ayun, next na tayo.
Okay, let's move forward sa ating second Filipino snack. Ano kaya yan?
Ayan, eto partner, parang alam ko na to.
Partner, naabutan na
Ready na ba
natin
kayo?
yan. Sa ating
Oo,
mga
naabutan
participants and viewers, ikain nyo na yan. Send your answers via comment section. Ayun, partner, may nakikita ka na bang nag-send ng answer?
Partner, may nag-send ng sagot. Sabi
Ano?
ni Eliza, Animal Planet daw. Tama ba yung partner?
Mukhang hindi, partner. Pero dahil siguro nakita niya very may animal ang ating packaging na drink. Oh, partner, sabi naman dito ni Mr. Albert Gabon, juggle juice. Malapit na. Kaya niyo pa yan. Linawan niyo pa yung mata niyo.
Malapit na. May onting mali na lang.
Unti na lang.
Ayan,
Ano
dahil
pa?
mula kayo, guys.
Partner, sabi naman dito ni Miss Erin, zesto.
Zesto, parang partner, meron bang animals yung zesto? Wala naman ata
Parang
akong naabot
hindi.
ng animal sa packaging ng zesto.
Eto partner, matatawa ka. Sabi ni Miss Eunice, Tiger Juice. Oh, gumawa na siya ng
Tiger
sariling
Juice!
pangalan. Yeah, Tiger Juice daw. Ano po
Naku,
partner yung nakikita mo
pwede
dyan?
na siyang magtayo ng business, no? Very, sila, creative sa mga sagot. Ako, partner, wait lang, hahanap tayo ng sagot.
Ano partner? Ano
Ayan,
nakita?
partner, sabi ni Miss Eliza, Tiger King apple flavor daw.
Tama sa,
Tiger King.
tama sa apple flavor at tama din na may tiger. Pero mali po. Mali po ang ating pangalan. Okay guys, ano kaya niyo yan? Ano po partner yung nakikita mo dyan?
Wala na akong makita, partner. Yung mukhang nahihirapan sila. Ay, ito, partner, may nakita ko. Sabi ni Kiana, tiger na may vitamin C daw. May vitamin C ba yung partner?
Okay, parang wala. Ay, parang mali na tiger na may vitamin
pa
C yung
rin.
pangalan.
Nahihirapan ata sila.
Okay,
Ano ba
partner.
yan?
Mukhang may nakita na
Ayan.
akong tamang sagot.
Meron na. Sino nakatama, partner?
Sabi ni Miss Eliza, jungle juice. So now, let's
Ayun.
reveal it kung tama ba na jungle juice.
Ayan. Congratulations, Miss
Congrats!
Eliza. Tumama yung sagot mo, finally.
Okay, partner. So let's proceed.
Ayan. So, next na tayo. Ito, partner. Parang binabaan ko to sa school nung bata ako eh. Alam mo ba to, partner?
Parang hindi ako masyadong familiar.
Hindi ka masyadong
Hindi
familiar. Baka yung mga
masyado.
participants natin alam nila, no?
Tama
so,
sa
guys,
atin.
alam nyo na.
Ikain nyo na yan.
Kain nyo na yan. Yung format natin, huwag yung kakalimutan.
Yeah.
Name, dash, or answer.
O partner, ang dami na agad sumagot. Sabi ni Miss Eliza, vanilla fudge.
Vanilla. Parang hindi, partner eh.
Parang meron ka pa ba dyan partner na nakikita ang sumagot?
Ito, partner, sabi ni Miss Jessica, refrets daw. Refrets? Hindi rin.
Parang hindi. O partner, sabi ni Miss Kiana Serminio, Koji bar na tinipid.
Koji bar na tinipid.
Mukhang may sumasa ng loob.
Oo nga eh. Mag-send tayo ng complaint sa Koji bar, no? Bakit ganito? Pero parang nasisi pa ata natin yung Koji bar. Kasi hindi naman siya Koji bar, Miss Kiana.
Ano pa partner nakita mo dyan?
So, hanap tayo partner ng sagot. Ano ba to? Ayan, sabi ni Miss Jemima, Nissin wafer daw. Nissin wafer ba yun, partner?
Mukhang feeling ko
Parang
nag-crave lang siya. Nag-crave lang si Miss Jemima ng Nissin wafer. Sabi naman partner, ni Miss Eliza ulit. Siyempre sinusubukan niya, very competitive. Sabi niya, wafer na kuripot.
Wafer na kuripot. May sama ng loob sila, partner. Parang galit na galit sila na, ayun. May nakikita
pa,
ka ba, partner? Baka may tamang sagot na dyan.
Sabi partner dito, ni Miss Eunice, Cupid.
Ayan.
Cupid daw. Sounds like. Kaya pa natin yan.
Malapit na. Unti na lang, guys. Ako, partner, nahihirapan ba sila? Parang,
partner, mukhang meron na.
Nila mabasa, no?
Parang meron ng tamang
sagot.
sagot. Kindly check.
Ayan, partner. May nakikita na ako. Ito, sabi ni Miss Jemima, QV daw. Tapos, ang daming isa dulo. Mukhang excited siya.
Kindly reveal.
Na yung sagot niya. Ayun.
Tama.
Boneless
QV.
Kaya excited si Miss Jemima. Congratulations po.
Congrats.
Ayan, next.
Let's move forward sa ating next Filipino snack partner.
Partner snack ba yan? Parang hindi naman siya mukhang snack.
Pero it's still Filipino.
Filipino. So guys, hulaan nyo.
Guys,
ayan.
Ikain nyo na yan. Send your
Yeah.
answers in our comment section.
Ano ba to, partner? Mukhang panlaba ata to ng nanay ko, partner.
Partner, parang detergent.
Di
Pero
ba? Parang
Filipino
detergent.
snack. Yeah. Sabi
Filipino
ko na
snack
nga
siya.
ba, partner, pagkakamalan talaga nilang detergent. Sabi ni Miss Jemima, Downy. Oh.
Downy. Mukha
Ano?
lang, mukha lang.
Partner, ano pang nakikita mo dyan?
Eto, partner, sabi ni Miss Lady, pink bleach daw. Pink bleach. Tama ba yun, partner?
Partner, tamang color pink siya, pero hindi siya bleach. So,
Hindi siya bleach.
kaya natin
Diba?
yan. Eto, partner, sabi ni Miss Jessica, bubble gang.
Bubble gum.
Filipino snack po
Ako,
tayo, hindi po tayo
malapit na.
Filipino TV shows. Opo.
Iba na yon, iba na yon. Hulaan nyo pa. Dali, malapit na kayo. Onti na lang. May isa na lang, no, partner, na hindi na nakukuha.
So, ito na lang. Ano pa?
Ayan,
Ay,
partner.
partner.
Parang nakita na akong tamang sagot.
Ako din, partner. Sabi ni Miss Rina. Tama, di ba? Sabi ni Miss Rina, bubble jug. So,
Ayun, nakuha rin.
let's
Hindi
reveal
siya
it.
downy.
Tama,
Ayun,
it's
bubble
bubble
jug.
jug. Congrats, Miss Rina.
Congratulations po. Eto, partner. Alam mo ba to, partner?
Partner, familiar
Masyado
na
siyang
to. Familiar na
sa'yo.
siya. Ang
Ayan.
kulay,
Sana
familiar.
familiar din sa participants natin, no? Kasi sila pa rin ang sasagot, hindi tayo. Ayan. So,
Kaya, tama. Kaya participants, viewers, ikain nyo na yan.
ayan.
So, kaya yan, partner. Sana mahulaan nila agad.
Asan na yung mga nanghuhula nating participants?
Nasaan
Ayan.
na?
Partner, may nakikita ka na
Sanay-
bang sagot?
Partner, wala. Parang nahihirapan sila.
Ayan. Partner, bigyan na ba natin yung tamang sagot? Parang masyado siyang dirt, no?
O, sabi ni Mr. Albert, clue po. Mukhang nahihirapan talaga sa nagpapaas ng clue.
Ano bang clue natin, partner?
Ano nga ba? Ano nga ba ang
Partner, hindi ba
clue?
to candy? Parang candy ata.
Yeah, oo. Yan ang ating first clue, guys. Filipino snack na candy. Ano kaya siya?
And partner, sabi ni Miss Jessica, choco mani daw. Parang, paano no? Parang,
Baka nag-crave
parang
lang siya, partner.
Yung mga cravings sa atin nila sinasagot nila dito. Hindi nyo naman sinasagot yung nasa icebreaker eh. Ginugutom nyo lang kami.
O, partner, sabi naman ni Miss Piana, baka po pwede namang isang letter dyan, pa-reveal.
Isang letter. Ano bang hit natin, partner? Parang feeling ko letter B. Sa letrang B.
Okay, sa letrang B, hindi po bingo. Filipino snack po tayo.
Ayan.
No, guys. Ano kaya?
Sagot kayo, baby. Partner, sabi ni Miss Maureen, happy toothpaste daw. Kaso, parang hindi naman yung snack. Kinakain mo yung toothpaste, partner. Ako kasi hindi pa ako
No.
nakakakain ng toothpaste. Hanggang ano lang siya, pan-toothbrush siya lang.
Okay, partner. Sabi naman dito ni Mr. Albert Gabon, bubble gum daw. Bubble gum. Kaya natin.
Bubble gum. Parang hindi. Hindi pa rin eh. Ano, partner, sabihin na ba natin yung sagot?
Sabihin mo na, partner. Let's reveal it.
Ayan, na-reveal na natin yung tamang sagot.
Yan, it's bazooka.
Ayun.
Bubble gum.
Tama. Bazooka bubble gum. So, ayun. Partner, feeling ko okay na yun sa icebreaker kasi active naman na sila.
Yeah,
Diba? So, move on na tayo.
Go, partner.
Ayan. And congratulations to everyone who won in our icebreaker. Guess that snack, the nostalgic Filipino snacks version. Again, thank you so much everyone for joining. At talaga namang marami silang nasagot sa ating pop quiz, hindi ba?
Tama ka dyan, Elise. Kung quiz ito sa isang major subject, for sure, 4 na ang lahat dahil sa kanilang mga nalalaman about our organization and the Filipino snack. And now, let us move on to the next part of our event. Allow us to introduce our very first speaker for the generational breakdown.
Today's speaker is a certified HR manager from 2021 to present. She is responsible for developing, promoting, and supporting staff engagement and communication within the company.
A certified human resource professional with a demonstrated history of working in the financial services and BPO industry. She has a background in different facets of human resources, wherein she becomes creative, multi-skilled, and with an eye for details. She has experience in settling up talent and recruitment team of their company's new site in Cebu, wherein she also led and managed even through the pandemic. She was also honored with the HR Excellence Award in 2018, the HR Asia Excellence Award in 2020, the Global HR Excellence Award in 2020 also, and she is a representative at the Global Diversity Conference in Washington, D.C. Currently, she's an HR manager for employee relations, wherein she is supporting more than 500 employees. Her main role is to ensure positive working relationships between the organization and its people.
With honor and grace, let's all welcome Miss Rodwin Inigo with a virtual round of applause.
Good afternoon, Miss Inigo.
Good afternoon po, Miss. Welcome
Hello
to
po.
Generational Breakdown 2022.
Good afternoon.
Good
Can you hear me
afternoon.
okay?
Yes
Yes
po.
po.
The screen is all yours po, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much for that generous introduction. I didn't expect that. Um, so good afternoon, everyone. Those who are in this call. All right. I hope I can contribute somehow in your lives today. And allow me to share my screen. All right. Can someone confirm if you can see my screen now?
Yes po, ma'am. It's visible.
Yes po.
All right. All right. So again, thank you so much, PMSoc, for having me today. It's really an honor, to have a chance and opportunity to meet younger generations. Kanina natatawa ako kasi parang alam ko lahat ng sagot doon sa mga food, no? So, not just because I'm a foodie since, time immemorial, but panahon ko ata siya. So, um, in this discussion today, you gave me, a topic, generational gap, the new chapter. So, pinagnilayan ko siya. When you guys invited me, I really, think of how can I address this? Because the main question is that you guys are trying, or we are trying to discuss today is, are the incoming, new, incoming generation of HR um are the best or worst, right? So well, as an HR practitioner myself, I can't, it's really difficult for me to answer this without prejudice. Um, I'll be biased pag sinabi ko na the type of HR that I am is the best and the new generation of HR is not, right? Or even, my senior are, better than I am or vis-a-vis, right? Or the other way around. It's really a difficult question to answer. Definitely for a fact that each of the generation of people manager in HR has this different experiences. There are also a lot of differences in terms of challenges and opportunities in terms of the company that we are, or in the organization that we are part of, right? So in this discussion, allow me to facilitate this topic, in order by way of understanding better the generations that we are talking about today. And definitely, I hope that it can also be a way for us to have a self-awareness, no? So medyo may pagka-retreat or not really retreat, medyo may introspection tayong gagawin today. And I also try to have this discussion be interactive as much as possible. Is that okay? Can I have like a thumbs up there, guys? I'm also watching the live stream in Facebook, no? So titingnan ko kung maganda yung ano ko, yung angle ko sa Facebook, right? So, all right. So, since I'll try to have this interactive, please have your mobile phones ready or a spare browser, perhaps. Because later I'll have a different platform that we can use for some interactive discussion. All right. So, moving on. So as I mentioned, I like to course through this topic in a way wherein we can better understand the generation and perhaps understand how it affects an organization and what's gonna be the role of HR or you guys as the new people manager in the future in the workplace, or how can you help address this type of issue or questions. So let's first tackle what is generational gap, right? So according to Adam Hayes, a financial writer in Wall Street with 15 years of experience in economics and financial behaviors. So generational gap particularly refers to the chasm that separates the beliefs and behaviors belonging to members of two different generations. So even now, even in your colleagues or maybe in your cousins or kamag-anak, no, you may immediately or you may are actually feeling right now that their perception is different from what you have. Do you agree? Kung sa inyo, okay magsuot ng pink ang lalaki, sa kanila hindi. 'Di ba? Kung noon, pag nagsuot ng makeup ang artista, they are thinking it differently. But now, yung BTS, yung mga naka-eyeliner, right? Yung mga naka-makeup, posturang-postura. Because they do have different, beliefs because of the generation.
Hi, ma'am. You're muted po. Hindi po.
Sure. Sorry, where did I left off?
About po dun sa, yung mga nagwe-wear po ng makeup as
Okay.
yeah.
All right, thank you. Should have been. Anyways, so thank you so much for that, Mika. Yeah. So basically, generational gap is about the differences in thoughts, actions, taste, perception of the younger generation versus the kind older ones, right? So now I want to gauge your thoughts as the audience, even the organizers or anyone who's seeing this presentation. I'd like you to get your mobile phones or maybe open a browser. All right. So if you can see the code, you may scan it. Oh, yung mga young Gen Zs natin dyan, you may scan the QR code. But for those who are using the browser, then go to www.menti.com and enter the code projected in the screen. All right. Oh, 1 second. Oops, nawala. All right. Are you guys ready? All right. So, let's see how many people do we have in the platform. Let's just give you more seconds perhaps. The more the merrier ha. It's gonna be fun. Tingnan natin anong tingin nyo sa amin. At anong tingin din naman ng mga constituents ko sa group na to, sa discussion na to about the generation. All right. Okay, let's see. Are you guys ready? So, ano lang tayo, test question, no? How are you feeling right now? Please type in what do you feel today? How are you? This afternoon? Happy? Excited and nervous? Feeling sick? Oh my God! No! Hungry, yeah. Ako din. Fine. Minimal. Alright? Happy. Nervous. Wow, in love, sana all. Okay. Cute. Nice. Cold. Yeah, it's, December already. Handsome. Nice. Okay. All right. So, now, okay, today, a minute or two, or a minute maybe. Perfect. Feeling perfect. Nice. All right. Sino pa? Okay. So, feeling excited, hungry. Ang daming excited, tsaka happy. Okay. Beautiful. Very good. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Now, for my next question. Okay. Which generation are you part of? Don't worry, everything's gonna be confidential. I don't have any access to your mobile phones. All right? And, oh my God, sino nang iba? Teka, sasali ako. Ba't parang wala akong kasama? Puro Gen Z. Anyone? All 15 participants? All Gen Zs? Okay, there's a millennial in the group. Thank you. Sabi niyo yung parents dyan, bakit may nakikinig na parents dyan? Okay. Okay. All right. So we are actually, in the younger spectrum in this discussion. So we are more into Gen Zs, definitely majority Gen Z. And then we have millennials. Huhulaan ko na lang kung sino yung millennials. Parang identified ko naman. Kung sino yung millennials, no? Nung sumasagot dito. All right. Okay. All right. So okay lang, no? Maganda din naman to because I like I have a gauge on how we'll go through this discussion. Thank you so much for that. And my next question. Okay, paano nga to ulit? Wait. Sorry, wait. Ayan na. Yan. Okay, next question. Oh, Gen Zs and millennials. So what comes into your mind when you hear the word baby boomers? Ay, ang sakit! Oldies, ang laki. Close-minded. Traditional. Vintage. Okay. Senior. Traditional. Strict. Patience. Or patient. Patient dahil ikaw yung nagpapasensya. Conservative. Okay. Dami. Cannot use a cellphone. Uy, may cellphone naman sila. May iPad pa nga eh. Laki pa nga ng ano eh. ng text, ng font. Okay. Alright. Nice. Okay. Oldies. Close-minded. Less internet access. Okay. Sige. What else? Minsan judgmental. Okay. Fine. For those, whoever in the future, just this is just for the sake of discussion. I know that this video may, come up in your Facebook social media accounts in the future. Don't worry. This is just a perception. We'll try to address it later. So baka may masaktan later pag pinanood nila yung recording. No? Okay. Let's move on to the next question. How about what comes into your mind when you say Gen X? So there's a slight difference lang between the two. What comes now into your mind when you say, or when you hear the word Gen X? Sino ba si Angelica tsaka si Derbiel? Or I'm just, hindi, ako yung hindi nakakadress. Slightly old. Disco. Mm-hmm. A start of innovation. Your parents dancing queen. Aha. Mature. Matanda rin po. Oo, matanda rin sila. Eventually, ikaw din. Okay. More open-minded. Staying alive. Kanta na yan, ah. Transition. Parents. Aha. Clock. Cool tito or tita. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Sige. 10 seconds more, perhaps? Okay. Okay. All right. Now, let's move on to the next question. How about millennials? What do you think or what comes into your mind when you say millennials or when you hear millennials? Ate, kuya, cool. Talaga ba? Malapit na Pasko kaya cool si ate siya si kuya. Techy, innovative, keeping up the trend. All right. Semi Tito. Ah, semi. Okay, trendy. Okay. Trendsetters. Uh-huh. Okay. So the 10 more seconds. Someone who leads. Brave. Air supply? I don't think air supply falls into millennial. Reds and roses. Somehow open. Physically fit. Very vocal. Okay. Now, up to my last question for today. Now, what comes into your mind when you hear Gen Z? Or, when you identify 95% of this group, how can you describe yourself? Right? Instagrammers, new ideas, open-minded, pasaway, fancy, influencers, curious, TikTokers, witty, hot, okay, liberated, elegant, ang bilis nila, oh. Daming ano. Okay, go ahead and describe yourself. All right, Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So thank you for that. No, 10 more seconds perhaps, and then we'll go back to the topic. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that generous, generous feedback of yourselves. All right. So, thank you so much. No, as you can see, we have noticed that there's actually a lot of differences in terms of your perception about the older generation and even to yourself. You have different perspective on, how you does things or how this generation are actually described, right? So, ang bilis, the first word that comes into your mind when you say baby boomers, oldies, yun agad, no? And parating naman sa younger generations or Gen Z, immediately the feedback was what? Cool, open-minded, no? And pasaway, no? So, there. So, now, let's understand this different generation in the workplace. No? So if basically there's actually six major generations or groups already in the society. However, in the current times, no, there's four generations in the current workforce. No? Especially here in the Philippines, 'cause, we do have this expected retirement age, right? So now we'll be just tackling four generation groups that are, expected to be part of our current workforce. We have the baby boomers. These are your people, or these are your soon to be employees, perhaps, or co-leads that are born between, the 1950s to 1970s. No? Um, they're followed by Generation X. These are your individuals that are currently in their 40s and 50s. Then we have your millennials. No, these are the current workers who are in their late 20s to 30s already, and now definitely the Gen Zs. These are the newly joined generation in the workforce. So mainly these are composed of the newly graduates, no, or those who are filling in the internship roles in the corporate um setting right now. So you mentioned a while ago that baby boomers, they're oldies, etc. Gen X are less somehow open-minded. Millennials, there are people that someone who leads, and then there goes your Gen Zs who are open-minded? Well, definitely, because you have this perception and this preconceived biases relating to their age. But let's understand better ano ba yung background nila, no? I prepared somehow a summary of describing this different types of generation. We have your baby boomers. So particularly your baby boomers, these are the generation wherein they have witnessed the end of the war. They're the post-war people. So during that time, their environment, their society is trying to structure or to build up again the society, the economics and all. Therefore, their perception, their means of motivation to survive in the society is somehow stricter and structured. With that, it results for them to prefer having a more formal and structured environment. So when you come to the office setup, these are your individuals, especially in this type of age timeline. These are your employees who preferred giving them a process, a more structured instruction, you know, and they prefer to have the sense of authority because of their experience, right? So with that, we also have to understand that since they are more experienced that across the room, right? So they are also a good source of knowledge. So with that, anchoring that, it can be a good asset also to the company. One thing that is, nice about them is that they're self-sufficient, optimistic, and goal-oriented. No, though sometimes they're very competitive and work-centric. So that is wherein, you'll have to look into ways on how to engage them and have, a platform wherein they can collaborate and somehow share their skill set and experience to a younger generation, right? Though the best, I mean the best example naman of their negative side is that they really are lack of familiarity in terms of new technologies. That's mainly the challenge in dealing with baby boomers, no? But, their expertise in basics and doing manual things is also a good value, no, in providing better technology. All right. Now, let's talk about Generation X. When you say naman Generation X, it's actually somehow or parang nagpapang-abot din sila ng baby boomers, no? Though they are actually, similar in terms of self-sufficiency and independence of, baby boomers. Because this Generation X, no, this is wherein they have experienced the emerging technologies. Somehow, the political and institutions or economy during their periods are somehow, getting stable little by little. And during that time, maintaining that stability and, making this children or the Gen X, um, become independent because they usually tend to have parents who are both working. So, lumalaki sila na they can stand on their own. So now, come forward to the present time, you also find these people resilient, no, and resourceful on their own. You might find them like um parang they have their own world, or they can do it, they can do their own. And it's very hard to um to somehow um break that. However, it is very um good as well that part of their characteristics is that they can also collaborate with others. No? They remain calm and collected in getting the job done, because regardless if it's, if they work collaboratively or do it on their own, they can be resourceful on their own and sufficient in getting the job done. One of the things that also we want to understand about this generation is that they value job prestige and the chances for growth. Wherein, if you are a people manager or a human resource manager, or someone who's mainly dealing with your people resources, this is where you'll actually come up with solutions in providing rewards and recognition programs, because this type of your people are really fond of getting recognized, right? Now, moving on to to millennials, no? Millennials, they're tech savvy. Sabi kanina dun sa ating Mentimeter, tech savvy, yes. Because this is your generation that bridges the gap wherein before and after the internet. Ito, aminin ko, I am part of this group, no? I know how it feels to do research without internet. And definitely, I learned how to use internet in getting more data or information in doing my research. So we became tech savvy. We had to learn in order to make things more efficient and effective at the same time. So currently, since these people are tech savvy, we already prefer working remotely and have flexible schedules. No, where millennials, based on studies, millennials tend to be more output oriented. We don't want to be measured based on office hours. We want to be measured, our performance be measured based on the output that we provide for the organization. No, and honestly speaking, even I myself can say, um, I want to understand that my role and my purpose has a deeper meaning in it. I don't want to be just an HR dealing with employee engagement and employee relations. I want to understand why I am dealing with my stakeholders, because this is the purpose of the company. This is the values that my company has or my organization is in. So it is very important for millennials to have this purpose in life. So, ito rin yung panahon na um, nagsimula yung topics and discussion about inclusivity. Because millennials value inclusivity and social equality. Kaya nga, di ba, during this time period, that emerged in discussion about diversity and inclusion in the workplace, right? Embracing change. Before, yung sabi ko nga, best example, perspective or perception of our older generations, if men wear pink, if men wear makeup, they think differently. They're kind of, you know, um, not so acceptive or receptive about it. But during this time, we are embracing the change, you know. Colors is just colors, numbers is just numbers, right? And we tend to put focus on work-life balance, no? Hindi trabaho, 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 hindi puro structure, 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 no? Sumasabay din kami, guys, no? The 5% in this group, sumasabay din kami. Sabi nyo nga, doon sa topic ninyo, ay sa feedback ninyo, no? So, but at the same time, we wanted to feel supported and appreciated. Sino ba namang hindi? Even the baby boomers, definitely they wanted to be recognized, appreciated. Gen X, no, and millennials. So, but for millennials, we are also gearing towards the opportunities to develop their skills. If you would notice, majority of those who have taken masterals or continuous education are actually in this time, no? In this generation. Um, Madami yung marami ng trainings, importante yan, no? Because this time, you know, millennials are really wanted to develop their skills. Alright? Ay, kayo tingin nyo sa amin, ha? Mga millennials, ha? Mga Gen Z, sumasabay din naman po kami, no? Alright. So, now, let's talk about the 95% of this group, Gen Z. Born 1997, oh my God, no? Digital natives, you are the first generation wherein nung pinanganak kayo, may internet na. Nung panahon namin, naglalaro kami nagle-learn kami ng ABC. Yung notepad namin, may dot pa, no? Letter A. Ngayon, naka-iPad. My God, no? But, regardless, based on studies, no, even though this generation are digital natives, you prefer face-to-face communication. Can I get like a affirmation? Is that really right? O hindi? Medyo? Makakita nga ako ng mga heart and ng thumbs up dyan. Totoo ba? Kahit na puro kayo cellphone, gusto nyo pa rin face-to-face comms? Oh, nagsasawa din pala kayo. Okay. All right. Yeah, based on study, I'm actually surprised, no? Even though you are digital natives, you prefer face-to-face communication. I didn't actually, you know, only this, no, I really, you know, my theory is confirmed that, yeah, gusto nyo pala face-to-face, akala namin mas prefer nyo remote, you know. So, but this Gen Z are, you know, this generation also are independent and entrepreneurial. Which is actually, you know, I've noticed. You guys are independent. Maybe because our information, I mean, the information is readily available to you. Before, sa panahon noon, no? Bago namin malaman ng isang bagay, we need to go to the library. Aklat ng Emilio Aguinaldo, ERS. Ngayon, open ka YouTube, you know how to, you know, do a presentation, do VLOOKUP, to Excel, etc. Before, we have to borrow books. So, panahon ko naman may school book na. Dati, no? There, no? You became more independent because the information, the data, and the resources are actually at, you know, at the grasp of your hands. And you tend to, you know, create your own opportunities. That's something that Gen Zs are identified through. You create your own opportunities. So you also like to embrace change, flexibility, all right, but at the same time, job security. Um, so with that, with you know, based on what we have discussed in terms of those four generations, let's understand how does this generation or multi-generational differences affects an organization, no? Hindi ito pinag-uusapan natin just because we want to know and have ay, ganito pala, gusto ko pala face-to-face. Oo nga pala, nakakasabay rin ako. But having this multi-generational differences does affect the organization, especially in these four areas, no? Because if you failed, or if you people managers, future people managers, if you failed to identify and address this, or somehow bridge the differences within your employees, age groups, it may harm the organization. It may, lead to failure in achieving your organizational goals, or strategic goals. So why? Collaborating with others. If you know, one of the things that we have to understand is that the motivation of people comes based on their perception, based on what they prioritize. So, for example, Gen Zs, they prioritize flexibility. They don't want to be siloed in a specific 9 to 5 schedule. Millennials, on the other hand, also likes work-life balance. However, in a group, there's also a baby boomers who's very work-centric. Now, for them, being productive means longer hours. So, as a people manager, we have to understand their differences and somehow utilize these values, these assets, these different perceptions and skills to become a strategic way in making their strengths a valuable asset to the organization, right? So it's very important that we harness these differences, and not focus on the division, but rather we harness this power to help grow these individuals as part of the growth of the company. No? So on the other hand naman, definitely, hindi lang ang multi-generational gap is on a negative spectrum. There's also benefits in terms of having differences in age. Hindi puro nega, no? 'Di ba? Um, One of the things, or ako, I would really or confirm, no, knowledge sharing. Kahit ngayon, pustahan tayo, may mga bagay, yun lang bazooka, hindi nyo na dit na bazooka yun. Detergent, yung juice, my God. Samantalang tuwa na kami doon, jungle juice. 'Di ba? Dito kasi may mga stainless straw na kayo. Dati, nung panahon namin, tuwang-tuwa kami sa jungle juice kasi may instant na siya, straw. 'Di ba? So, knowledge sharing in marketing. If you don't know the history, you don't know how to move forward. You don't know how to gauge your different target markets, right? Your older generations may have different experiences that can help the younger generation come up with new technologies or new strategies in order to address a wider market, right? So, the lack of experience of the younger generation may be filled in by the older generation, and the lack of technological skills of the older generations can be compensated by the younger ones. So age diversity always goes hand in hand with skill diversity or skills diversity. Now, performance and productivity boost, right? So the diversity in terms of experience and skills can influence other groups as well in making a complex decision making. Before, the older generations are very structural, process oriented. Hindi sila pupunta ng process 3 or step 3 nang hindi dumadaan sa step 1 at step 2. Waterfall method of project management. But now, no, we have converted to agile project management. We can have different cycles or stints in order to come up with the same goal, right? Because there's already noon kung walang technology to have a agile strategy, talagang hindi. But now, the younger ones can help improve and boost the productivity even of the older generation by sharing the knowledge and skills that they have. Right? Enhances problem solving capability. Are you familiar with the story of the electrician? No, wala kang electrician. Why? Okay. So there's a story of electrician, no? So there is a household who's having electrical problems. And they have called in some new they called in a newly graduate electrical engineer. And he spent like hours trying to figure out what's wrong because the house actually is fairly new. And the electrical engineer failed to address the issue. Now, there goes the old electrician or yung parang yung nakikita sa kapitbahay. Let's say yun na lang. Yung marunong na to, electrician, electrical na to eh. Ayusin mo nga yung kontador namin or yung circuit namin. O bakit ganito yung bahay na. And that person, actually spent 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and he has resolved the issue. And he asked for a payment of like $100 and so. So sabi sa kanya, bakit? Bakit ang mahal? 5 minuto mo lang ginawa. Di ka pa namang graduate or wala ka namang certification. Because you're actually paying that person's experience, not the degree. The amount, the 20 years, 25 years of experience, dealing that kind of issue in a household made him capable of solving a case in just 5 minutes. That same goes with your people. When your people ask you, or when you, let's say on a recruitment perspective, you see someone who has a heavy experience versus a lot of degrees, sino mas pipiliin mo? Siyempre, interviewin mo muna para mapiliin. Anyways, di ba? And that person, you cannot ask a person who doesn't have a lot of certification and degrees and question the amount of salary he or she is asking. Dahil siya, what he or she have spent so long is gaining skills through experience. And that can help enhance the solving capability of that person. So, wag tayong judgmental. Yun yung moral lesson of this. So, wag tayong judgmental, no? And then last but not the least, open-minded workforce and friendly work environment. No? Open-minded workforce can not just broaden your horizon, but it can also help your people be sensitive in the needs of others. No? And the differences of the people in your organization or even in your community. No? Widened perspective or perception can also widen your potential customer bases. Mas alam mo kung ano yung ibibigay mong kailangan. Kung nasa marketing ka, mas alam mo kung paano mo ibebenta yung kailangan mong ibenta. Sa HR, mas alam mo kung paano mo i-address or can improve your employee engagement. Right? Now, with all that being said, babalik ako. Ano naman ngayon ang role natin as an HR? Or even future HR practitioners or people manager? Anyone? Hindi kayo nakinig. Ninantok na yung after 10 minutes. Ganyan. Ganyan kayo. Alright. HR role or people manager role is to bridge that gap. Right? HR role is to bridge the gap. Because the HR department or even the managers, people managers handling people are the first line of defense against the chaos of that differences in the work. So a person managing people has to be fast thinking, you know, clever in making decisions, especially in overcoming the issue and making every member of the company a valuable asset. So what we have discussed today is not just to answer whether you'll be a good or not. It is how, you start to understand these differences, these different biases, there's preferences, and be able and be someone that is capable of coming up with solution to bring out your people's utmost potential and make it an asset to your organization, right? So now, my last question to you is that after all this discussion, what kind of HR or manager will you? Are you the worst or you'll be the best? Right, so I'll leave that question to you guys. I hope to see you around in the society or so. So I'll leave the floor back to our organizers.
Thank you so much, Miss. Wow, that is very entailing discussion from Miss Rodwell and Inigo. I would like just to quote something from her talk, I agree when collaborating with others is how can we make different generations work together in a way that we can use their different strengths for the growth of the company and its organization. Also, one of my takeaways then, partner, is that the HR role is to bridge the generational gap that we have. With that, thank you so much po for accepting our invitation, Miss Inigo. And now, the screen is open for your questions. Partner, may mga questions na tayo dyan.
Ayun, partner, eto maghahanap tayo ng mga tanong.
Kindly send your questions if meron. As of now, wala. Mukhang talagang nag-grasp naman nila lahat ang ating talk ngayon, the topic.
Ayan.
Send in your questions, guys, if meron. Ayan, mukhang meron ka ba nakita?
Eto, wait lang, partner. Parang, eto na yung mga
Nag-iisip pa sila ng question.
Oo.
Ikaw mo, partner, what are your takeaways naman with it? With this
Ako,
talk with
partner,
Miss Rodelyn?
mas na-appreciate yung differences natin between generations. Kasi di ba usually, ang nirereklamo natin is nasistress tayo kasi nga
Yeah.
nahihirapan tayo in dealing with the differences. Pero ngayon, parang mas na-appreciate ko na siya kasi kung titignan nga natin, no, ang dami nga palang advantages na may mga pagkakaiba-iba tayo. Kasi mas marami tayong nasa-share na knowledge with each other. And I think that's what makes it very fruitful, no? Kapag may mga collaborations tayo.
Yeah, I totally agree with, kasi laging may negative connotation pagka differences, di ba? Pero ngayon, mas na-explain ni Miss Rodwelin na talagang, differences can make us grow as a person. So, yun, partner, parang meron na tayong isang question here. Tama ba?
Eto, partner.
Partner.
Babasahin natin.
Okay, for our first question,
Ayan.
partner.
For the first question, how much impact does the generational gap has in the workplace?
Hello po, Miss Rodeline. Okay po.
Ayun, the generational gap kicks in, nawawala yung cursor ko. Anyways, so how much impact? Sorry, what's the question?
Partner, what's the
How
question
much
again?
impact ay, how much impact does the generational gap have in the workplace?
All right. So thank you so much for that question. Wonderful question. Now, the generational gap is just one of the values or factors that actually impacts an organization. Age is just one. No, if you would know, there's a lot of groups that or categories that can actually make a difference in an organization. Age, ethnicity, gender, preferences, that all constitutes to either a good or negative effect in an organization. What I believe, what I can say about that is that how will you make it, convert into a valuable asset? No, mahirap. It's gonna be a formula, no? Um, somehow, sometimes understanding your demographics, no, just like to relate your subjects right now. Before, I don't understand why I need to know about statistics, about doing sampling, um or doing behavioral statistics in psychology. But that is actually just a tool that is, giving you guys um a knowledge on how you can address these factors in the future. Being equipped with knowledge as early as now in your school, in learning how to do sampling or getting to know your demographics, can actually give you a measure on how impactful it is in your institution. For example, may mga institution or mga industry that age doesn't matter, right? Especially if the institution doesn't require physical strength. Call centers, we don't care about age, no? Because, we don't really need someone to carry a heavy liftings for us. But on the other hand, on the other industry, age may matter, right? Kasi, let's say, warehousing, storage facilities, they have, and the role is, requiring you to carry heavy boxes and so. Therefore, you can measure that, how impactful in your demographics, yung productivity versus your productivity, no? But by getting the statistics and getting to know your people. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but actually that's actually a tip for you guys in the future. Anything else, or did I answer, your
Yes
question
po,
perhaps?
it's very helpful po. For our
Okay.
second question po, we have here from Miss Maureen Diana. She wants to ask po, what is the worst problem of HR professionals today?
What's the most
What's
problem?
the most worst problem po daw of HR professionals today?
Worth? Sorry, I didn't catch that
Sorry
clearly.
po. What is the worst
A
problem?
worst
Yes po.
pandemic.
Oh,
Based on experience. Why? Um, pandemic, um, for that time, well, iyak na ako. Joke. Well, pandemic pushes your managers, your HR to really challenge what is the resources, challenge the skills, challenge everything, you know, and win and overcome it. Why? Generations. We have to convert immediately to technology. We didn't have much time to do training for them to know how to use MS Teams, for them to know how to use Zoom or connect to internet perhaps. Kasi we have employees na alam nila pagpasok nila, nakakonect na yan sa internet, matatrabaho na lang sila. Right? So, I believe if you would ask me naman, no, if you would ask me 3 years back, what may be, the worst issue of an HR practitioner, maybe talent pool still, because the technology is changing constantly. The need and the skill sets also are changing. Definitely, the talent pool is, become limited. So it's either, we outsource the skills, or provide opportunities to skills, what you to train the talents that we have at that time. So I don't know what's gonna happen now that we're back to somehow normal, no? But I think we are more foreseeing about flexibility. So, kasi may nat-convert na iba naman na yung perspective. Dati siguro yung mga baby boomers natin, preferred nila office. Pero now, hindi nila preferred office. So, remote na rin sila. So, it actually is changing. And as HR professionals, we also have ride that journey.
Thank you so much po for very insightful naman po talaga yung sagot niyo. Okay, partner.
So for the last question po, ma'am, we have Miss Eliza Desquitado. Are people from older generations really always wiser and correct in their ways of thinking and choices? Why or why not po?
Sorry, malabo talaga. Ano yung ulit?
Are people from our older generations really wiser and correct in their ways of thinking and choices? Why or why not po?
Baka may magalit. Hindi. As, just like in my introduction, stereotyping or putting a pigeonhole into certain generation is difficult. Labeling is not a nice practice because each of us has this different expertise, specialization. We have different experiences, right? We have different problems. And definitely, we do have different upbringing or environment, nature versus nurture, etc. So, if they are wiser, maybe they are experienced. We can use, they are more experienced and they can learn from them, right? If they're the best, which, maybe which field or which facet, no? Um, Kasi, wait, I don't want to discredit as well na the younger ones also are expert in some ways. 'Di ba? So, let's try to be more receptive in terms of having a two-way communication. Sabi nga nila, PM is the key. Oh, alam ko yan, Gen Zs. PM is the key, right? Communication is the key. Kung anong best nila, yun ang i-learn natin. And then what we can do better, that's what we teach to them. And then both ways, we can be wiser. Amen. Charot. Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much
Thank you
po.
so much
Sure.
po, ma'am.
Okay, so partner, that ends our first question and answer. Partner, ang comprehensive nga naman talaga ng discussion with Miss Rosalyn Inigo. Kaya I think it was very clear sa ating mga audience.
Yes, and to show our appreciation, we present the certificate to Ms. Rodwin Inigo for attending and actively participating in the momentous major event, Generational Breakdown, the New Chapter, held this November 25, 2022 from 1 to 4 p.m. via Zoom and Facebook Live. Given this 25th of November 2022, signed by our project head, Ms. Joanna Manyamusa, and our co-project heads, Ms. Denise Balatbat and Ms. Jessica Romasanta. Also by our Executive Director, Ms. Sheila Serrano, and our advisor, Mr. Epitacio Mendiola.
Thank you so much once again, Miss Rodwell and Inigo. But before we let you go po, ma'am, can we please have a picture with you po? If that's okay po, ma'am. Okay. So,
Okay.
ating mga participants, if kaya pong mag-open ng camera. It's a one-time opportunity, guys. I-grab na natin to. Okay. Ilan pa lang po nakapag-open ng cameras nila. To our technical team, sino po yung mag-picture? Okay. So, ayan, wala na po bang hahabol? Ayan, meron pong humahabol.
Go lang guys. Sige ako magpipicture.
Okay pa.
Sige, go. Wala nang hahabol. Sure kayo? Open nyo na yan.
Sayang to, guys.
Nahihiya. Okay, sige. Smile tayo guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay, isa pa po. Wakit po tayo. 1, 2, 3. Ayan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much po, Miss Rosalie.
Ayan, thank you so much again, Miss Rodwellin, and please enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much po. So, ayun, partner, mukhang lahat sila ay excited na sa mga susunod pang mangyayari. Kaya, tuloy-tuloy na natin to.
Ayan. So, ayun, moving on. Let's now move on to our generational breakdowns roundtable discussion.
Tama, partner. The part where we'll get the answer to the question, are the incoming generation of HR the best or the worst?
Diba? And since this is a roundtable discussion, we have invited experienced individuals with human resources to join us for today's session. They will be our roundtable discussion speakers who will attempt to answer the question Mika and I mentioned earlier.
Yes, and for this session, we pulled in questions for our speakers to discuss and answer. But if there are areas of the topic that you think are left untouched, everyone is encouraged to send in their questions about this topic.
Alright, so I think everyone is settled na partner. Let's now introduce our roundtable discussion speakers this afternoon. Our first roundtable discussion speaker is a senior HR executive focusing on client relationship management and HR spectacles. She works closely with the CEO and business leaders, provide strategic and modern HR solutions by developing company policies, bespoke methods of employee management, and other solutions that promote a culture of inclusivity and fosters a genuine connection between stakeholders in an organization. Please join me in welcoming Miss 𝐏𝐚𝐬𝐴
Hello po.
Hi, good afternoon,
Afternoon
everyone.
po.
Afternoon
Thanks for
po.
having me.
Moving on to our second roundtable discussion speaker, will be honored as one of the World HRD Congress's 101 most fabulous global HR tech leaders in February 2020. From August 1, 2020 up to the present, she is the company's president and CEO, as well as its HR consultant and legal representative in Opera's Social Speakers Incorporation. Let us all welcome Ms. Rona Dale Sorrentino for our session this afternoon. Hello po.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon.
Good
Afternoon
afternoon
po.
po. Alright, our next key roundtable discussion speaker for this afternoon is a senior HR business partner and admin head at Concepcion Jurabos in Cabuyao, Laguna. He is a highly experienced human resources practitioner with a proven record of facilitating profitability through effective development and management of human resources operations. With joy and honor, let us all welcome Mr. Cyrus Francis H. Dabon.
Hello po.
Hello,
Good
good
afternoon
Good
afternoon.
po.
afternoon.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
The last roundtable discussion speaker, but surely not the least, is the Human Resource Manager at Avida Centera EDSA Corporation. He is a graduate of De La Salle University, Manila, with a Bachelor Arts of degree, majoring in psychology. Let us all welcome Mr. 𝐏𝐚𝐬𝐧. Hello po, good afternoon.
Good
Hi, good
afternoon
afternoon,
po.
everyone.
Afternoon po. Please give a virtual round of applause sa ating nagagandahan at talaga nga naman naggagapuhang key speakers for a round table, no, partner?
Grabe, Mika, we are indeed packed with very talented and well-experienced HR practitioners talaga, no?
Yes, I totally agree, no? I'm looking forward to the discussion for this afternoon. But before anything else, kamustahin muna natin ang mga speakers. So ayun po, kamusta po kayo? How are you feeling this afternoon po?
Doing great naman so far. It's actually I'm happy to see some familiar faces. Hi, Sai.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hi, Sven. Nice to see you here.
Yes.
What about you naman po, Miss Kim? How are you feeling po?
Well, I'm very thrilled for this afternoon session since, as I've mentioned to Jessica, this is my first speaking engagement,
Ooh.
and it's going to be with young Gen Zs that would want to be able to thrive in the workforce as an HR professional. So I'm really looking forward to giving an impact in this afternoon session.
Thank you po na kami pala ang first. Very special po.
Thank you so much po, ma'am.
Okay. Kayo
Ay,
naman po, Mr. Cyrus. Kamusta naman po?
Hi, all is well. After a very tiring day yesterday kasi the culmination of our sports fest. So, tumapad ulit today. And I'm looking forward also to share the experience and also listen to our co-roundtable speakers. Ano, kasi these people are well, I'm pretty sure ang daming bit-bit na bala ng mga yan. So, also looking forward.
And lastly, partner.
for Mr. Makasait po. How are
Hello
you
Hi,
po.
good
feeling
afternoon,
today,
everyone.
sir?
Well, it's
Good afternoon
Friday.
po.
Thank God it's Friday. So it's the last day of the week. Happy to see everyone here. Malapit ang weekend, but we would like to end this day or this week with a bang with you guys. So hopefully we learn from each other. Keep our ears, eyes open during this session, and I hope to learn from everyone.
Yes, thank you po. Ayan, we are all feeling excited for this afternoon. To officially start our discussion po, I will be reading for our first question. For our first question po, this question, yung sasagot po is Miss Jean and Miss Rona po. So for our first question po, can you say that the generational gap does not affect the workplace environment?
Environment if the team members are flexible, adaptable, committed, accountable, and is driven to achieve their personal and career goals. To simply put it, if everyone is being productive and efficient, you won't have the time to meddle in someone else's business, whether he's a Gen Z or she's a baby boomer or Gen X or Gen Y. It wouldn't really matter as long as the team members embrace everyone's differences and believes in oneself, the company, its products, its values, and the company goals. That's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much po. How about you po, Miss Rona?
I agree with Miss Jean. She has actually succinctly put it into yung description ng wala talaga siyang nagiging impact. The only time that it becomes a challenge, a problem is when yung one employee or one team member is no longer functioning or hindi niya nagagawa kung ano may expectation sa kanya kasi diyan na nagkakaroon ng bakit siya ganun. And then sometimes the bakit siya ganun leads to kasi Gen Z, kasi Gen X, kasi millennial. And that may not be a good practice, but of course we're only human. Minsan pag nagkakaroon ng mga ganyang discussion, talagang na dadamay pati yung generation. But another thing, and to also add to what Ms. Jean has mentioned, it is also important that the HR people, and we are, most of us here, at some point will become HR gurus, HR leaders, HR professionals. Your batch would someday become HR managers yourselves. Ang pinaka-importante dito is that the HR themselves know how to go through the whole process of employee experience ng maganda, ng maayos. And yung hindi yung tipo na they generalize, they put labels and everything, and so on and so forth. If the recruitment is done properly, then you won't have problems about team members who are not performing. If you're able to provide the right reward system for the employees, then you don't have to worry about employees not functioning because they are demotivated, because they feel that their effort is wasted or it's not being given importance. So yun siguro yung mas importante, more than just the generational gap. There has been a lot of studies both mentioning na walang generational gap and merong generational gap. I'm actually running right now a poll in LinkedIn about this particular topic. Kasi, ano yan eh, it's one topic na talagang super daming opinion about it. But for me, ang nakikita ko kasi when it comes to generational gap, yes, it does exist, but to generalize, to call one whole generation as sila yung pabebe or sila yung demanding or sila yung hindi technologically savvy. I think that becomes a problem at some point because hindi naman dahil nandun ka sa generation na yon is ganun ka, or you are not technologically savvy, you are pabebe and things like that. So I don't think it is a problem within the workplace. I don't think it is the problem in the workplace. I think it's more of making sure that the whole employee experience is down pat for everyone para talagang hindi na call into kumbaga question yung mga different generations.
Thank you so much po, Miss Jean and Miss Rona, for the very insightful yung knowledge po for this. Grabe, first question pa lang. I totally agree po on what you both said. Yung kay Miss Jean po na may avoid natin siya by being, accountable and adaptive po. Yes. Yung kay Miss Rona naman po, I really do agree din po na hindi siya maiiwasan pero meron tayong mga bagay, circumstances na pwedeng um, i i-apply para mag-work po yung generational gap. Ito po, partner.
Yes, I agree din, no, na yung mga generations, hindi maganda yung mga nagiging labels. But then, we can use our management to properly utilize each of our skills din na para hindi natin masyadong sinasaisip yung mga mga stereotypes na nakakabit, no? And it really is very vital yung management natin and utilizing the workforce. So for the next question po, this is for Mr. Dabon and Mr. Makasaet. What is the advantage of the current generation in the workplace po?
Who wants to go first po?
Sige, ako na lang, ano. Siguro for me, yung advantage niyan is pretty much on a very techy kasi yung generation ngayon, ah. Um, Nagiging advantage siya if the leaders and the organization are able to really capitalize doon sa existing information and skills ng mga generation ngayon in coming up with programs that are responsive doon sa tinatawag nga namin nila Rona na employee experience, ano. So like for example, siyempre yung mga technologies natin on Zoom, on MS Teams, halos lahat ngayon ang dami ng mga shared worksheets, shared files. Kung yung ating mga current generations are able to explore and maximize yung features ng mga ito, and at the same time be able to transition from being the individual contributor dahil sila yung techie, be able to share that with the whole team. Malaking bagay yon kasi they are expanding the knowledge nung entire team to be able to produce pretty well. Ano siya magiging advantage talaga siya kasi yung generations na medyo nauna, ano, siyempre hindi pa naman uso yun, no? Yung ating usually, yung ating mga baby boomers, they're just okay with, I just know how to encode, I know how to open the Microsoft applications, but really exploring yung feature ng isang app, parang hindi na sila masyado doon, ano. And magandang i-capitalize yung advantage ng having the generation now to really teach yung ating uh, mga senior leaders, senior employees na mag-adapt doon sa mga bagong technologies na ang intention was really to make the workplace accessible, no? So yun yung nakikita ko na advantage ng current generation natin.
So for Mr. Makasait po,
Yeah, for me, belonging in this generation, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not part of the Gen Z. I'm part of the millennial generation. But kidding aside, no, tama, I would agree that the social media or the tech savviness of this generation would really help the organization in terms of, yun nga, nabanggit ni Sir kanina, no? But I would like to throw this part of a study from PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, is on the leadership paradoxes. So, this time around, no, tech savvy, the Gen Zs, but you also need to be human as well. What do I mean by that? So being tech savvy, you can alienate others din as well, no? Other generations or other people, kahit na on the same generation na hindi ganun ka tech savvy or exposed to the technology, because admit it or not, social din naman, status din it comes to being tech savvy kasi syempre may exposure with technology. So my tip here is, or my take on this is, yes, it's an advantage of being a tech savvy, but let us not forget that there's a human side of technology. So how does it affect to the other generations? Maybe we're implementing things like TikTok, but it doesn't really hindi po mapasok or nagsushoot with the other people in the organization, how we communicate things, may na-alienate tayo. So, for me, we need to balance. Sometimes kasi our strength as an individual can be also our weakness as individuals. So, you need to be balanced, the technology side with the human side of things in the business.
ayun, thank you so much po, Mr. Dabon and Mr. Makasait. I agree po, no, na yung mga advantage po natin is that mas ano po tayo, mas in touch tayo sa technology. But then, of course, we shall not forget to be empathetic. And yung mga meron po tayong advantage, isi-share po natin. And that is how we can grow as a company po or in the workplace, hindi ba? So, partner, shall we move on to the next question?
Yes, for our third question, this is for Miss Jonah and Miss Jean also po. Mauna po muna si Miss Rona, ay si Miss Jean, tapos si Miss Rona po. For our third question, what are the good and bad personality traits that the incoming generations have? Again po, what are the good and bad personality traits that the incoming generations have?
Okay, so thank you for that question. So I think both naman has our own both generations has um advantages and disadvantages, or good qualities and bad qualities. But for me, I believe that the advantages of being a young HR practitioner in the workplace is our curiosity and thirst for learning. So, while our disadvantage naman siguro, yun nga, as na-mention kanina ni Rona, is the lack of experience. But to combat that, I would highly suggest to keep yourself knowledgeable of things. And if your organization is into fintech, then make sure that yourself is also knowledgeable about it. Don't be someone who wouldn't have something to bring to the table. So in my line of work, we deal with various industries and different types of companies, owners, and employees. So I have to familiarize myself with each and every industry that our clients are in. So as a young HR practitioner, when I started, of course I was not this good, but it took me a lot of mistakes, trial and error to get me where I am right now. And I also listened to my superiors and mix it with my own strategy. You got to learn how to learn from other people's mistake and do better. And I think for the more experienced HR practitioners, their advantage naman is their work experience, syempre, throughout their years of hard work. While maybe their disadvantage is, I would not say for all, but for those who are close-minded, that thinks that they know it all. So I remember this HR manager in one of our clients' workforce. So by the way, we do outsourced HR consultancy. So we represent different bodies of establishments. And yun nga, in one of the clients' workforce that they have this HR manager. And internally, in our team, we call her as, or may code name kami for her as Jollibee. Because you know it all. She thinks that her ways are the best. So there's this one time that she kept questioning about our methods, and she even blurted out to our faces that she has been an HR since 1992. So imagine, guys, how baffled my boss, who is in his early 30s, and my colleagues who are in the same generation as we are in, like more on millennials to Gen Z. In my mind, my response to that was, "Hello, it's 2022, so your ways might be outdated already." But of course, I kept my mouth shut at that time. You gotta know how to pick your battles, my friends. So yeah, I guess I'll pass on the light to Rona. That's it from me.
Okay. Thanks, Miss Jean. Naloka ako doon sa kwento mo. But, um, advantage ng generation ninyo, at talagang inaamin ko ang ninyo. Hindi ako sumagot dun sa mga survey kanina kasi I would be an outlier. I am not based on the generations that I've indicated earlier. I am no longer a millennial. I am a Gen Xer. Masakit mang tanggapin. Gen Xer. Your generation, the Gen Z, and even the latter part of millennial, the millennial generation, was blessed to be born in an era where everything is digital. And that is one of your advantages. You can adapt to all of these technologies quite easily compared to someone who, say, belongs to the boomer generation, the baby boomers. Okay? You are able to adapt quite easily. However, I wouldn't say na etong advantage na to ay kayo lang yung meron. Okay? And I wouldn't say na it's something na talagang pwede nyo ipagmalaki all throughout because it still needs context. Kasi, di ba, even if you know all of these technologies, technological advances, it has to do only with social media, with being present online. If we talk about other technological advances, you will be lost. Okay? So ang siguro mas magandang sabihin is not the advantage of the generation, but more of the advantage of you being young and entering the workforce. I'd like to focus more on that rather than the generations because kayo bilang gagraduate pa lang, kayo ay biniyayaan ng certain level of idealism, certain level of positivity, and certain level of curiosity that us na mga matatagal na nagtatrabaho may no longer have because we've seen the realities of life and our level of positivity is no longer that high. Our level of curiosity may no longer be that high. And our level of innocence, the sense of wonder, may no longer be that high. Ang advantage nyo is you're still optimistic, you're still idealistic. So when you share now ideas, practices, suggestions, recommendations, nandun pa kayo sa sobrang hindi pa siya kinakain ng mundo ng pagtatrabaho at sobrang ano pa siya, kumbaga pure and innocent. Whereas kami, even if we want to recommend something big, something huge, we are often held back by sandali budget. Sandali, saan kami kukuha nito? Sandali, sinong gagawa nito? So I think that's the advantage that you have. You are not held back by those types of things. We are already held back by the realities of life. So yun siguro yung advantage ninyo. Advantage naman namin is because we already have these years of experience. Alam namin ngayon how to deal with people who are older than us or who are younger than us. With your batch, with the incoming workforce, because wala pa kayo masyadong experience, konting pushback lang from people older than you or from situations that you may not be familiar with, konting pressure lang, oftentimes bumibigay. Kasi you're not yet used to that kind of life. But the good thing is, if you are able to hold your own during those situations, and when you meet people like that, if you're able to hold your own, then at some point you will also become like us who are able to push back. Ako personally, kasi hindi ako masyadong naniniwala na yung meron talagang specific na generations, na may generational gap. Kasi Gen Xer ako, pero pag tumingin ako sa ibang research, nagiging millennial ako. Doon pa lang nagkakalituhan ako Gen Xer or millennial eh. Kasi 1980 ako eh, and 1980s, it's a cusp, kumbaga. Parang parang horoscope ito, hindi mo malaman kung Cancer ka or Leo ka, depende sa diaryong binabasa mo. So, I don't believe in all of those generations. Yes, yung mga generations, they have different appreciations of what's happening. But, everyone goes through yung kung ano yung nararanasan ng Gen Z ngayon. Na they are seen as demanding, self-entitled. Even the Gen Xers, when they were coming into the workforce, yun din ang feedback sa kanila. Masyado kayong lumalaban, so makontra yung generation ninyo. And then when the millennials came in, masyadong maiksi ang pasensya, gusto kagad ganito. And then pumasok yung mga Gen Z, masyadong self-entitled, masyadong maraming dinedemand, masyadong weak, konting hirap lang, give up na, re-resign na. All generations went through that. Kasi that's the mark of, you entering the workforce, any generation entering the workforce. It's a major change in your life eh. Diba? It's a major change. Imagine mo, nung nag-aaral ka, pagdating ng December, woohoo, Christmas break. Nung nagtatrabaho ka, pagdating ng December, woohoo, ang daming trabaho, Christmas party, annualization, and all of these things. So, more than the generations, I'd like, yun nga, to focus dun sa talagang, yung mga pagpasok. Lahat yan, even the boomers, naranasan naming lahat yan, yung nararanasan nyo ngayon na yung older generations tend to look down on you. We've also experienced that, and the generations before us have also experienced that. Nagbabago lang siguro ng kung ano yung social economic status, yung technologies available, siguro dun lang nangyayari. So ang advantage nyo is the people coming into the workforce. The idealism, the energy is still there, the curiosity is still there. Kasi pag matagal na kayo nagtatrabaho, Friday, matapos ka na Friday para makapagpahinga na ako. Ganun na yung nangyayari dyan.
Thank you so much po, Ms. Jean, Ms. Shona. Thank you po for explaining the reality of this personality traits of the different generation and, its advantage and disadvantage. I agree po na both generations po have a good and bad personality trait. You know, lahat naman po nadaan. That can really help the growth of a person po. I also agree din po na to keep yourself knowledgeable about the things presented and, you know, learn from the mistakes and do better next time. So ayun, next partner, let's move on to our next
Ngayon, for
question.
our next question po, this is for Mr. Dabon and Mr. Makasait po again. What standards do the HR industry have that will make the incoming generation fit in?
If may I answer naman.
Yes po.
Sige, what standards does the HR industry have that will make the incoming generations fit in or be engaged in the role, no? So number one is standards. Well, based from studies, no, I've researched, no, and then the generations, based from the Deloitte 2022 Gen Z of the Philippines. So the Gen Zs would like to know or to be with the company. Number one is on the, syempre, on the relationship with the company in terms of sa environment, no? So it's no longer the company na they can relate more with na company na top level, but what they are doing with the environment. So are they conscious about their trash? And do they have plans on sustainability? Do they have plans on getting carbon neutral or being carbon neutral on how they produce materials or on their products? So that's one that I've read, no. And then siguro another one is the flexibility. So since this generation, your generation, the Gen Zs, most of you kakapasok lang ng work, siguro mga 26, 24 years old. Yung iba papasok pa lang like you guys, no? More flexibility in terms of work arrangement. So you've experienced, no, several, lalo na ngayon, na work from home, tapos nagka-pandemic, some of you or some nga ng Generation Z, pumasok sila 2019. Yes, napakasaya, nagtatrabaho, you're owning your money. Tapos biglang, boom, COVID. Paano yun? Work from home. So your generation is based from the study of, again, of Deloitte. Kayo yung pinaka-stress, no? Next is millennials. Why? Because the experience, biglang, 'di ba? Biglang shift to digital reporting or work arrangement. So medyo lost, no, na stress, marami nag-resign, no? Sa mga ka-HR ko dito, most likely ang dami yung katabi mo nung isang taon, wala na doon. Ang dami nag-resign. Yun ang isa sa problema ng mga HR. So siguro one thing, number one is on the environment. So you need to your company should always have something on sustainability, inclusion, diversity. Number two is yun nga, yung sinasabi ko kanina is on the work arrangement. So you need to be flexible also on not only on the work arrangement, but also on the benefits. Kasi usually the companies traditional yung mga benefits, like for example, retirement. People now don't think of retirement than you guys because they will not stay there for the longest time. Gone are the days that people will stay 25, 35, 37 years in the company. I am happy to say that in our company, medyo kasi old yung company namin. But talagang the tenure here, 25, 20, 40 years. Imagine that, meron kami isang executive, 40 years nandito sa Ayala Land, no? But for the other companies or subsidiaries, they're experiencing very fast turnaround, no? So we need to adjust our benefits, our reward system. Number one na din na titignan ng Gen Zs are training. They want to gusto nila instant, no? Nabuhay nga sila sa fast-paced world. Sila yun lang yung generation na pagkagising na pagmulat ng mata nila, mayroon ng mga internet, no? The millennials, iba dyan, hindi pa ako, nakaranas ako nung wala pang internet. But yun, dapat there is an opportunity for them to be trained and be mentored, no? So they can bring in new stuff, no? The Gen Zs, like yun nga, technology savviness, but they also would like to learn more. Also, gone are the days na like for example, dito may hire kami na finance background pero gusto niya rin ng matuto ng marketing ng product development. So gusto nila talaga multifaceted. So generalist yung So dapat yung companies would be open to providing more learning engagements or learning for their employees.
Agree 100% kay Sir ano, pagsabi pa lang ni Sir na yung mga 25, 40 years ano, I remembered my mom because my mom was parang first and last, so she's been in a company for 34 years, and now every time I transfer company, siya yung unang kumokontra. But given yan. So I agree 100%. Siguro for me, the only standard that the HR industry have is yung standard set forth by the labor code. The rest of HR programs will depend on the type of industry that you're with, the type of your manpower landscape. I have been with tollways, pharmaceutical, mining, logistics, entertainment, and now I'm in a manufacturing company. Totally every time I transition from one industry to another, yung inisip ko na standard before is different from what we have now. See, ano siya, kaya in my tips kanina, I keep on mentioning yung how responsive are your HR programs sa ano mo, sa workforce, kasi napaka-importante nun. Um, we we are already into understanding yung profile ng ating mga workforce. Before parang parang one program for all. Diba? Ngayon parang we're already deep diving one program, tapos tinitingnan na natin um, sa mga attendees natin, sino ba dito yung belong to this generation and to that generation. Then you understand na itong mga ganitong klaseng mga, for example, mga tip talks, for example, majority of the people who are participating are actually the senior people. I mean, the senior guys. Mainly because the program intends to make them as a coach, as a mentor, as people who shares the experience. So, yun yung nagki-click sa kanila. But when we try to introduce programs that are medyo tech savvy like Kahoot, you'll see naman na yung mga nagjo-join naman doon ay medyo millennial, medyo yung bago. So naiintindihan natin na wala siya talagang standard HR programs. Yung programs na in-implement ng HR group is ano yan annually, or sabi natin baka nga semi-annual, nag-i-evolve talaga siya, nag-i-evolve. Right now yung programs ninyo might not be as responsive as kung gagawin mo siya by next year. Why? Because you have a different landscape na naman ng mga tao, and that we have to understand siguro pag kayo pumasok na sa totoong buhay ng workforce, you'll understand yung complexity ng being part of the corporate world, and at the same time may intindihan natin lahat na ano siya na hindi siya pwedeng one size fits all, hindi rin siyang pwedeng one program for X number of years na i-implement natin. Kasi ang dami na ngayon naglalabasan na different programs, and sobrang dami rin ng mga companies na talagang ang innovation nila is top level. Yung kanilang responsive rate sobrang bilis din na hindi ka pwedeng mahuli. Hindi ka pwedeng mahuli kasi if you do, kung mahuhuli, yung mga manpower mo most likely lilipat sa kanila. Kasi yun na yung bagong talk of the town, di ba? So, napaka-importante yun hindi siya really a standard, but really more of how your companies are willing to continuously evolve to make sure that our employees are able to get the best employee experience while nasa atin sila. Kasi even when they leave the organization, tuloy-tuloy yung brand ng company sa paglipat niya ng organization. So itong mga employees who are eventually leaving the company, or even yung mga existing employees, they will become evangelist of your employer brand. So, napaka-importante nun. Napaka-importante nun when setting up yung programs for the incoming generation. Before, nung panahon namin nila Rona, wala namang kahot-kahot eh. Excel lang, masaya na kami. But now, hindi. Di ba? Ang dami naman naglabasan mga online application that we can make to engage employees. Di ba? Kasi ako, I was also my first exposure was a typewriter and onion skin. Siguro yung mga viewers natin at listeners ngayon hindi na alam kung ano yung onion skin ano. And yung mga typewriters natin ngayon electronic na. But before then, ano pa yon yung ribbon. So nag-evolve siya. Nag-evolve even when you see the what do you call that, yung environment ng mga offices ngayon, yung structure, yung design ng offices ngayon is pretty much different from the time na na-expose ako sa isang corporate world, di ba? So, and then makikita mo continuously siya na nag-evolve. Now you have yung mga collaborative table. Dati, di ba, sabi nila, okay lang sa atin, naka ano tayo, naka what do you call that? Parang wala ng cubicle. Ano na lang, station na lang. And now, when you go to organizations na highly adaptive sa current trends, kahit yung cubicle, wala na. Kahit yung mga workstations, wala na. They are in one long table as a collaboration table. So, continuously siya nag-evolve. Continuously siya nag-evolve. So, sa mga listeners natin ngayon, by the time that you apply for work and you get in, I'm pretty sure, siguro 5 years, 10 years, iba na yung itsura ng inyong opisina at iba na rin yung programs ninyo. So that's for me.
Ayun, thank you so much po, Mr. Damon and Mr. Makasaid. So I guess, partner, we can expect a lot of changes to come in the following years, ano? We are very much looking forward to the development of the HR industry. Siguro by the time we graduate, marami na rin nagbago. So, ayun, partner, let us move on to the next question.
For our next question, for our fifth question, this is for Miss Rona again and for Miss Jean. What is your advice to those newbies in the HR industry who are currently experiencing discrimination from the older ones on the field? So, ayun po. Miss Rona?
Okay, if you are experiencing discrimination, okay, I know that yung mga bagong workers ngayon, usually kasi sila yung medyo maramdamin pa kasi they haven't built yet yung kanilang emotional resiliency when dealing with people who are like that. But still helps, pasok sa isang tenga, labas sa kabila. Focus on the quality of your work. The only reason and the only, at least generally speaking, the only time that someone older than you can put you down is pag may nakikita silang butas on how you do your work, the quality of your work. So make sure that talagang alam mo kung anong ginagawa mo at naiintindihan mo kung ano yung reason why you are doing that. When you do that, mahihirapan silang hanapan ka ng butas. Hindi yan mawawala. And kahit nasabihin natin 5 years ka na, 10 years ka na sa isang company, ang politics ay hindi nawawala. There will always be someone na maiinggit sa'yo. There will always be people na sisiraan ka. So pasok sa isang tenga, labas ka sa kabila, make sure that yung trabaho mo is something na hindi ka nila mabubutasan doon. Which means, tulad nga ng sabi ni Miss Jean kanina, continuously learn, read a lot. Lahat ngayon makikita na natin online. Copies of Labor Code, copies of Omnibus Rules, copies of labor advisories, and Supreme Court jurisprudences. Lahat yan online. So familiarize yourself with that. Huwag basta-basta sasagot nang hindi ka sure kung ano yung, kumbaga kung ano yung basis mo for your answer. Okay, and make sure na, especially when you are being triggered by someone na pinaparinggan ka, do not let your emotions get in the way. So once you feel na nagiging emotional ka na, take a step back, hingang malalim, and then do your work. Huwag papaapekto. Siguro yun yung pinakamagandang tip na masasabi ko, especially for the incoming workforce.
It's very nice. And I definitely agree on what Rana said. I remember from the time that I started. So just to give you a brief background, this is my first HR work And I have been with HR Spectacles for 4 years now. So basically, since day one ng HR Spectacles, I've been with the company. And my only HR background was being an associate of Francis Kong from before. So yeah, when I started, I can vividly remember that my boss handed me the Dole Handbook for Statutory Monetary Benefits. And I really read it cover to cover. And it has been very helpful because starting from zero knowledge with regards to HR, and then, of course, you gotta know the ins and outs and the basics nga. So yeah, you gotta read, equip yourself with the right tools. Very important talaga yung knowledge because that's how you can interject yourself in the organization or in the workforce, no matter what age group you guys are in. Ayun nga, like what Rona mentioned earlier, as long as you're doing your best, nothing will ever affect your performance. It's just funny because we recently hired 3 new associates in our company, and we also had our opening or onboarding and also welcoming to the team. And my advice to them lang is just to be perfect. Just that. I mean, nobody's perfect, but if we strive to be, it will bring us somewhere. So for me, that's it. Like, I don't care how you do your work. I don't care what steps or strategies you work on performing it. As long as you give me the output, then I would be happy. There are times that there would be employees that would just be a yes man, which is not good. You gotta have your own strategy. You gotta find your way out on how to solve things. You gotta have strategic and analytical thinking and critical thinking when it comes to dealing with HR stuff. Because HR is not only na yung manual and traditional, not only for payroll. We are now more for business planning. We are included on building strategies for the company, how we would move forward as an organization. And yun nga, we have to be someone who is very open to learning. Because if you're open to learning, you won't feel that you are being discriminated unless you really are being discriminated and isolated by a group of people or by someone. But for me yun, you just gotta give your best and then the rest will follow. Your superiors would know that you are working your best and yeah. And from there, if you give your best, then I guess hindi ka na magiging questionable no matter what other people will say about you. Then don't listen na lang. If you know that it's not true, then let them do the talking and you do the work, do the action. Show that you can do, show that you are doing your best.
If I may add lang, dun sa sinabi rin ni Miss Jean, yung mga papasok pa lang sa workforce, don't be too hard on yourself. Sometimes kasi when you are, yung mga papasok, feeling kasi nila, they need to prove themselves kagad. No, don't be too hard on yourself. Learn, observe. If you make a mistake, learn from it. Pero don't be too hard on yourself. Kasi the people before you, they also did not know anything when they went into the workforce, yung mga HR ngayon, hindi yan pinanganak at nagsimulang magtrabaho na kabisado na kung paano mag-compute ng overtime.
Correct.
Hindi. Lahat kami ay nag-aral, napag-aralan namin yan, may nagturo sa amin. But tulad nga ng sabi ni Miss Jean, because we were open to learning, we learned. We were able to adapt. We were able to, understand all of these things. So if at yung first job ninyo, you feel na bakit hindi ko yun alam, don't be too hard on yourself. But don't use that naman as an excuse not to perform. Tulad din ng sabi ni Miss Jean, aim pa kagad ng mas mataas, di ba? Aim for perfection. Hindi mo man ma-hit yun, at least may mga mararating ka. Yan.
If I may add also, I agree with kay Ron, ano, I think when I started my job as an HR practitioner, I was part of an organization na parang kay Mr. Makasait na medyo matagal na, no? I mean, 50 years in existence. So, expect mo na yung mga manpower niya, 25 years in service, 30 years in service. So, one thing that I learned then was for you to be able to penetrate the current workforce is doon sa sinabi ni Rona, i-add lang siguro natin is you have to be able to respect the experience of the people na mas nauna sa'yo. Ano? You have to respect their experience kasi in some cases, every time na may new employee, nakikita kasi as a threat. Especially coming from the generation na sobrang bilis, no? Ang sobrang bilis ng alam on technology na hindi nila alam, 'di ba? Sabi nga ano kapag hindi alam more often than not nagiging threat yung mga paparating. So siguro yung sinabi ni Ron plus respect the experience of these people para the first call pag ikaw ay pumasok sa SRG organization was really to get also the trust of the people who's going to work with you para hindi ka makita as threat but really as someone na kasama nila sa trabaho. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much po for your thoughts about the question po. You know what? This roundtable discussion po really empowers me to really aim high and do my best. I'll super dami po pong takeaways for this question, pero I just want to point out three takeaways for this. First po is, focus on the quality of your work. It is very important. Second po, do not let your emotions get on your way. Find your own way out. Third po, open yourself to opportunities of learning para po mas, mas ma-build nyo po yung sarili and self-growth nyo. And I want to conclude all my takeaways po by always think of how much you love on what you do. So from there, you'll have a better chance of how you want things to be. Thank you so much po to Ms. Jean and Ms. Rona for this question. And let's move forward, partner.
Ayun, that's such a nice insight, partner. So for our next naman, we have statements po, and we wish to ask for your opinion on this one po, Mr. Daban po ulit and Mr. Makasait. The statement is, I believe that the next generation of human resources professionals will be the best because they are more adaptable, accountable, and flexible. Additionally, they are trustworthy or knowledgeable with regards to technology, which can be advantages to an organization. May we know your opinion on this statement po?
Sige, I'll go first na lang. Actually maganda yung what do you call that, the insight. But for me kasi all generations, katulad nga nung nasabi ni Rona kanina, lahat ng nakasulat diyan ay pinagdaanan din namin. Lahat 'yan ay pinagdaanan din natin, even the people before us. Pinagdaanan din nila 'yan. Okay? I think the best the best attribute na makukuha talaga natin is maliban doon sa kumbaga commercialized skills that we have. Kailangan natin mag-invest doon sa ating core. Okay? Kasi yung adaptive, accurate, and flexible, it boils down kung anong core values meron ka, and it starts with your family. So kahit gaano ka kagaling with regards to the technology and all the applications, kung medyo shallow ang values na pinanggalingan mo, hindi ka magtatagal sa isang kumpanya. Okay? At hindi mahihirapan ka rin mag-adapt sa corporate world. Okay? Kaya napaka-importante na regardless of what generation you came from, ang best foot forward mo pa rin doon is not how the research or the Google references sinasabi, but really more of yung core values mo as a person na nanggaling, well, that came from the family, ano. And yun pa rin yung that will make you successful in the long run. Okay? Kasi yung technology, eventually, yung generation after the Gen Z will have another term for their generation. At the end of the day, yung values natin, it will remain as it is. So siguro yun yung sa akin.
For me, actually, I don't know how to answer this question, to be honest, no? But siguro a tip na lang for the incoming generation of HR practitioners. So myself, this is my first job, no, with this company. So I agree that your values, no, yung values natin dapat should be aligned with the company. Kasi if not, mahirapan tayo mag-thrive sa isang kumpanya na iba yung values natin with the values of the company. Mahirapan talagang mag-succeed. Mahirapan rin tayo as to adapt to that company. Ano ba bang pwede na tips for the incoming? Just have an open mind. Having that growth mindset, no? Yung ability to open your eyes to new possibilities, to new opportunities. If you're asked to be stretched, then try to be stretched. You'll only learn from it, no? There's nothing wrong to be, stretched. For example, in my case, no, in the pandemic, my course really is, my job here is learning and development. So training, yung mga ganyan, no? And then also on employee relations. Then I was asked to assume a new role, which is taking care of COVID cases here in our company. Not only taking care of COVID, but actually operations of parang a housing for those who contracted COVID. The height of the pandemic, So we have our own. So I have no background in operations. I don't have background on how do you manage doctors. Parang parang naging boss ako ng doctors. But what I learned there is, number one is open your eyes to new learnings, open your eyes to new things, learn, adapt. Listen to the others, no? Hindi lang nasa inyo ang expertise, nasa ibang tao din. For the doctors, I consult them. They're the best. They're the doctors, no? I'm just an HR who operates or call the shots. But the expertise, I consult them. And then what's their take on that case? And then, for example, on the finances, I'll ask our finance team, what can we do? How can we adjust the budget? How can we source out more money to buy equipment? I also ask other people's expertise, no? So don't think that you have everything, no, set kahit na 10, 20 years ka pa sa company. Tap the talents within your network. So network, no, siguro isa rin ko matitake is you network with your colleagues, with your team members. I'm not saying na exploit nyo or maging user-friendly kayo sa mga talents sa ibang bagay, no, na, uy, hingin na hingin tulong. No, no. Relate with them. So, kailangan kasi may nabibigay din kayo sa kanila, no. So, it's a, give and take. Hindi naman tayo pwedeng ask lang tayo na ask ng help or expertise ng ibang tao, but we are not, 'di ba, are not also reliable, or hindi rin tayo makuha na expertise sa mga tao yan. So, number one is we adapt, we open our eyes. Number two is we tap the expertise of other people. And number three, siguro is keep on learning, no? And try new things, and madidiscover nyo, wow, I can do such things pala na hindi ko na-imagine na kaya kong gawin. So that's it for me.
Hey, thank you so much po, Mr. Dabon and Mr. Makasait. So, ayun, we can say na being successful is not only about being book smart talaga, no? We have to keep an open mind and develop our values. So just like here in our institution na tinuturuan tayo ng nasalyan core values natin, we can use that to guide us in our journey. So, partner, ano yung next natin na mga tanong? Meron po ba?
Yun. Thank you so much, partner. Yes, meron pa. For Miss Joanna and Miss Jean ulit. This is not actually a question po. This is a statement. And can you give us your opinions and insights about this statement? So the statement is, I cannot determine since the worst and best need to exist for the balance of life. So, yes po, Miss Jean.
Okay. Yeah, I guess yun nga. Of course, the yin and yang, it has to exist both. Like we have to see the worst and the best for us to know what is the worst and what is the best. So for me, I think the advantage lang of the current generation in the workplace is the youthful vibe, the energy, and the vibrancy that we give in. And another is, of course, the technological proficiency, which is very vital in being productive. Since for us to work smart, we have to make technology our best friend. So make them work harder than we work hard. So I would not call it a balance or like work-life balance, but I would like to call it as work-life harmony because it would not always be 50% work, 50% life. There will be times that you'll have to do 90% work and then 10% life. But there are also days that you could do 60% life, 40% work. You just gotta have to find the harmony and the silver lining in between work and life. And you gotta know what you want in life so that it wouldn't be hard for you to distinguish like, are you happy with your job or are you happy with your life? It will not be 100% every day, but you just gotta strive to be um, doing just fine on most days. Yun. That's my thoughts on that statement.
Ako actually, I would like to take this from the point of view of whether the current generation is the best or the worst. I wouldn't say that you're the best. I wouldn't say that you're the worst. Probably because there are more than just the generation that impacts whether you're the best or the worst when it comes to being an HR. Given that you are just entering the workforce, of course you would be the worst. Why? You don't have yet the experience. You might have all of these theories, all of the things that you have studied in school, just because you lack the experience, the actual application may be a challenge for you. So in on that end, you might be considered as the worst. However, because you also have the energy, tulad nga nasabi ni Miss Jean, the energy, the vibrancy, the ease by which you can make use of, or the ease by which you can adapt to the different technological advancements, that actually makes you the best if what we are talking about is you as an HR giving recommendations on which platforms or what tools to use in order to streamline kung ano man yung ginagawa sa HR, or to, for example, creative ways, unique ways on how to attract talents, get the word out that you're hiring. Then you might be the best generation for that because you are the best ones, or the best group of people who understands all of the social media. So, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na best, hindi pwedeng sabihin basta-basta na worst. It all depends on ano ba yung context natin, ano ba yung tinitignan natin. Kasi if we're talking about adherence to labor law, adherence to general labor standards, then your generation might be the worst batch for that because you don't have yet the needed knowledge, the needed experience to understand yung intricacies of labor audit, or of handling labor cases. So, yung ganun. So, in a way, tama, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na best or worst kasi ano yan depende sa kung anong context. Not just for the balance of life, but depende sa kung anong context yan. Now, hindi rin natin pwedeng sabihin na yung mga mas matatagal na, yung mga boomers or mga Gen Xers, they are the best HR because they know all of this. It's not because they know all of this, not because they belong to the boomer generation or the Gen X, but because through years of experience, na kuha na nila yung experience na kailangan nila, or yung knowledge na kailangan nila, or yung kumbaga naranasan na nila lahat ito pagharap sa labor arbiter, pag-handle ng SSS, pakikipag-usap sa top management on engagement programs. Naranasan na nila yon, kaya lumalabas na parang sila yung best generation naman. So it all depends sa kung anong context. So yun naman po yung aking stand when it comes to that statement.
Thank you so much po. Yung mga thoughts, it's really, yung thoughts niyo po parehas really meet halfway po na we really have to see po what's the worst and best for us to identify what is really worst and what is really best. So yun po, isa ko din pong takeaway with this, conversation po is yung find the harmony in both work and life. It is really important po talaga kahit nagtatrabaho ka man, student, or kahit ano pa pong status sa life, work and life balance po is really too important. So ayun, let's move forward to our next question, partner.
Ayun po, for our next naman po, this is another question po for Mr. Dabon and Mr. Makasae. Being in the HR industry for years, have you noticed any differences or changes that occurred in your workplace as the new generation slowly enters the picture?
Sige, sige, go ahead.
Can you repeat the question na kasi parang it's different from the one showing right now on the screen?
Ay, okay, ano na lang po. Pa-next slide na lang po. And being in the HR industry for years, have you noticed any differences or changes that occurred in your workplace as the new generation slowly enters the picture?
Okay. I've been this is my first job, 11 years in Ayala Land. So ako yung generation ko yung pumasok na millennials sa Alin. I remember part of the training team, lagi sinasabi na, oh, mag-ano nga kayo, training nga kayo ng generations in the workplace, maintindihan yung mga millennials padating sa organization natin, mga entitled, mga gusto agad ma-promote, bibo-bibo. So somewhat yung mga biases or yung mga sinasabi about Gen Zs, yun din yung mostly nasabi sa mga millennials. So ano ba yung differences? So ang nakikita ko rin, number one is physical in the workplace. So we have adopted with open space planning. So sinabi na ni Sir to kanina na yung dati cubicles, now our HR office is now more open for collaborative, our meeting rooms. So we have more meeting rooms for those naman na would like to speak or make a meeting na ibang companies na online. They have their smaller rooms for that. Pantry is open, there more coffee, free flowing, yung mga ganun. Dati parang may 3-in-1 lang dyan or bibili ka pa sa baba Starbucks. Ngayon parang may coffee na, may laman yung ref with Coke and everything kasi it's also influenced by social media, TikTok. Makikita mo the likes of Canva, the more progressive companies, mga tech companies, they're showing off na may mga kits, pag open mo, pag sumali ka sa amin, you will get your laptop, your Mac, you have your own headset, ganyan. So yun yung mga nakikita natin. It's on the physical side, in terms of that. In terms of, yes, nabanggit ko na rin kanina, differences siguro, more flexible benefits. So for Comp and Ben, dati for us in our company, meron ka ring car plan, mga ganyan. But some, again nga, we are at different stages of our lives. It need to be customized dun sa profile ng employee. So for some, na hindi naman ako bibili ng sakyan, mas gusto ko mag-Grab kasi it's higher to pay parking. It's difficult to have parking in Manila. Tapos it's hassle sa traffic. Ayokong mabwisit, So yung iba would like to do flexible benefit. So again, depending on the kasi yan yun din siguro yung mga HR practitioners, no, na isip rin nila na, hindi, dapat yung packages, it will cater to the specific stage ng life ng tao to. Kung single ka, mas flexible ka on more on the monetary than the benefits na kunyari, yun nga, retirement, di ba? Kasi hindi mo naman makikita na doon ka pupunta. But for the older ones, mas retirement sila yung nakikita nila. So siguro yun yung mga iba ko nakikita, training as well, no? We've adapted to like this. Right now, we're in a Zoom call or MS Teams call. Before, hindi mo to magagawa. Lagi kang classroom, yan, tas pupuntahan ka 'pag maraming pagkain, may merienda. Yan yung mga sinasabi lagi, hahanapin ka, 'di ba? Or sa hotel, no? But now, we're more flexible. We do hybrid, no? Learning is now self-directed din. No, we are opening, dati may approval pa yan, training request, di ka basta-basta makakapag-training. But right now, the organization is more open to upskilling their people. We're giving out licenses on LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, para ikaw mismo, no, ma-develop mo yung sarili mo. So ano talaga I think for me yung changes is it's really, ang keyword ko dito is it's customized, no? Highly customized to the individual. Just like Netflix, when you scroll down your Netflix, the movies there, it's customized to your liking, no? Ano ba yung napanood mo last time? So as an HR siguro, um, we may not be ganoon ka with data analytics ng Netflix na kayang basahin kung ano ginagawa mo or napapakinggan ka ng phone mo kung ano yung mga sinasabi mo or last mong sinearch. But for us siguro as HR of the future, you guys is ngayon naghahanap yung mga tao ng tailored fit to their need. Highly customizable, flexible. Ayan. That's for me.
Thank you so much po, Mr. Cyrus and Mr. Chris. Thank you po for running us through and giving us different perspectives about the differences and changes. I really do believe din po talaga na, maging flexible lang and really, adapt to these changes. And yun po. So, and now that we are nearing the end of our roundtable discussion, we will now ask our speakers the question we are all waiting for to be answered. And so, are the incoming generation of HRs the worst or the best? How about you go first po, Miss Jean Alinares?
Sorry, I was on mute. So yeah, are the incoming generation of HR the best or the worst? I firmly believe that we are who we believe we are and who we exude we are. So if we strive to be the best versions of ourselves, then the outcome would always lead us to what is best. So we have to aim so high so that we can achieve something. Looking back, I never imagined that I would be where I am today. But the universe conspired and aligned for things to happen. You have to work on yourself to be the best that you can so that others can see that through you. And as I've repeatedly said from the start, you have to continue on learning every day so that you'll collect all the knowledge that you'll need to use when the time comes. So it's great for you to acquire all of the learnings whenever you can, attend free webinars or even paid seminars, because that these are the learnings that you have to equip yourself with. These are the food for the soul. Um, Yun, that's my point for this. And as for being an HR in the workplace, we have to take the time to empathize to the workforce, make them feel and know that we care for them. Or if we take care of our employees, the employees will take care of the business. And the incoming generation will be the best or worst depending on how we mold ourselves. So for me, we cannot generalize it as the best or the worst generation, because maybe in the baby boomers time, they were the best because it worked for them. Like working themselves from 9 to 5 or longer hours for 25, 40 years, that worked for them. And then for the Gen X, their own strategy and ways also worked for them. For Generation Y, that's the same. And for the millennials, finding work-life balance is what is working for us. And for Gen Z, if you think that being digital nomads would work for you at your advantage, then it would be probably best for you guys. So we just have to find the right solutions to the problems that we are encountering, because in every problem there is a solution. You just gotta find ways on how to solve it. And um, yeah, for me, nothing's, I mean, we cannot definitely categorize which is the best or the worst. We can just be either the best or the worst as an individual. And it's for us to know who we really are and how we contribute to the society, to the organization, to the workforce, to the community that we are in. So just like what the other speaker said earlier on, it's not only one factor that brings us to be the best. It also comes from our individual self, from our families, from the friends that we surround ourselves with, from the employers that we choose to engage ourselves with. That's why we really have to surround ourselves with the right people, because if we want to reach our destinations or our desired goals faster, then you gotta be with the right people. So yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you so much for today's session.
Thank you so much po, Miss Jean. I
Thank
really
you
do
po.
believe that, um, surrounding yourself with the right people po talaga really do help you grow as a person you want to become in the future. So for our next po, Miss Shona, what are your takes naman po about this question?
Actually, I have to agree with Miss Jean. We cannot generalize. So we cannot readily say that this generation is the best or this generation is the worst, because there are a lot of factors that we have to consider. Not just the generation that you are in. It all boils down to individual differences. It all boils down to your own personal values. Those are the things that will dictate whether you will become a good HR or the worst HR. So, yun nga, tulad din ng sinabi ni Miss Jean, you just have to continuously open yourself to learning. You have to continuously observe, make the necessary adjustments within yourself, adapt to the changes that you are seeing, learn, read, so that you become a better version of yourself, a better version of who you are or who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, para talagang maging maayos na HR ka and someone that is well respected in the community. It's not just about the generation. It's all about what you, as a person, as an individual, can do in order to improve the lives of the people you're working with and the culture and the environment within the organization you are partnering with. So for me, that's my take on this particular question.
Thank you so much, Miss Shona, for that insightful you know, take on this question po. Next, may I ask for Mr. Cyrus on what his take for this concluding question?
Same with Gina, no? I always believe doon sa law of attraction. Kung ano yung iniisip mo, that is going to happen. You see, even sa career ng HR, life will always throw you a curveball. Parang sinabi ni Sir kanina, from L&D to COVID management, 'di ba? So sobrang layo. But then again, it's up to you on how will you prepare yourself for the role, and how will you prepare yourself to eventually succeed. Um, ano siya parang in the bus, are you going to take the passenger seat or are you going to drive the bus pagdating sa career mo? So, hindi siya generalized. You see, the generation is not a generalized profile, di ba? At the end of the day, kung papaano mo hinanda yung sarili mo to become the best HR, yun na mangyayari. Because that is what you prepared yourself. But if you prepare yourself na parang wala lang, bahala na si Batman, so definitely yun din ang mangyayari. So it's all up to you. You see, eventually yung magiging people managers ninyo will help you through your career, will give you coaching, will give you mentoring, will teach you sa mga do's and don'ts ng ating profession. But at the end of the day, it's up to you if you're going to take that wholeheartedly or hindi. So it's really up to you. It's not up to us. It's not up to the people around you. It's up to you. If the people around you are not teaching you, it's still your choice to stay and look for a better career. It's all up to you. So that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you so much for very insightful take on this question po, Mr. Cyrus. So lastly, let's move forward to Mr. K. Hello po.
Hello. For me, yes, you can definitely be the best generation of HR. But my question is, can you back it up? Are you willing to put the work in? That is my challenge, no? Kaya ba natin gawin yon? Or are we willing to be open to new learnings? Are we able to stretch ourselves sa sarili natin? Are we willing to learn? No? And also, sabi ko nga, sabi to ng isa naming executive, no? To end this, no, siguro, sabi ng isa naming executive, if you have the knowledge, no, sabi ni, for you guys, I don't know if you know Ernie Baron, but this is the sino ba yung uso ngayon na weather forecaster? Maybe Atom Arroyo, yun yung mga kilala nyo, but Ernie Baron is the parang weatherman of our generation or Gen X or baby boomers. Sabi niya, lagi niya sinasabi is yung knowledge is power, no? So, pag may talino ka, di ba, it's a power. But sabi ng executive namin, let's level it up, no? If you want to have the superpower, take action. Put that knowledge into action. Kasi definitely, if knowledge is just there, no, alam ko, but I'm not willing to put the action, or I'm not doing things, trying out things, hindi ko rin naman ginagawa. Sayang lang yung knowledge na yon. So if you want to have that superpower, put that learning into action. So yeah, thank you for having us this afternoon.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
po.
much po. At ayun na nga, the answer to the question we have all been waiting to be answered is now given. And from what I have gathered, partner, no, I don't think it's about being the best or the worst generation. From our speakers, ang sabi nila, we should take the good, leave the bad, and use the good to improve and strive for the better. So I think yun yung magagawa natin, no? To be better and to keep striving to be better. How about you, partner?
You know what? Honestly, I'm actually just in a state of mind wherein I don't know if I fully agree with all of the things that our speaker said kasi grabe, super daming knowledge about it. But I do agree with what yung nag-meet halfway yung mga thoughts nila na nasa atin talaga if we'll be the best or the worst with this field. You know what? Sa totoo lang, one thing is for sure, this roundtable really brought us a new perspective and significant learnings. And on that note, this afternoon's roundtable discussion has officially concluded.
Yes, unfortunately, we will have to conclude our roundtable discussion here. Although I know we still have a lot of things left untouched, but maybe we can talk about it again on PMSoc's next major event.
Reese, I think our dear participants like that idea very much dahil ang dami kong nakikitang heart reactions dito. Tingnan mo. Iba't iba silang reaction. And maybe we can invite the same roundtable discussion speakers as well, di ba? Kung available pa rin sila that time.
Ayun, o di abang-abang na kayo guys, malay nyo, di ba, pagbigyan tayo. Anyway, I'm glad that this afternoon's discussion is very lively and informative, hindi ba, partner?
Yes, it is very much, active talaga tong webinar natin for today. I experienced a lot of roller coaster emotions dahil sa ating discussion. As a result, we present this certificate to our dear speakers as a token of our appreciation for their time and knowledge. This certificate is hereby awarded to Ms. Jean Clarice P. Olinares for attending and actively participating in the momentous major event, Generational Breakdown, the new chapter, held last November 25, 2022, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. via Facebook Live, given this 25th of November of 2022.
Ayan, thank you so much po. For the next, this certificate is hereby awarded to Ms. Rona Del Florentino for attending and actively participating in the momentous major event Generational Breakdown, the new chapter, held last November 25, 2022 from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. via Facebook Live and MS Teams, given this 25th of November 2022. And for the next, the certificate is hereby awarded to Mr. Cyrus Francis H. Dabon for attending and actively participating in the momentous major event Generational Breakdown, the new chapter, held this November 25, 2022, from 1 to 4 p.m. via Facebook Live, given this 25th of November 2020.
And lastly, this certificate is hereby awarded to Mr. Chris Makasait for attending and actively participating in the momentous major event, Generational Breakdown, the new chapter, held last November 25 of 2022 from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. via Facebook Live, given this 25th of November of 2020.
Ayan, we appreciate you all for sharing with us your knowledge about the human resources industry. But may we please ask you to pause for a moment and to please turn on your cameras, PMSoc officers, so we can take a picture together.
Let's open our camera, guys. It's a one-time opportunity. See?
Ayan, hello po. Good afternoon sa ating mga participants. Open na po kayo ng cam. Ating mga officers. Let's go, guys. Hello. Ay, open po tayo ng cam. Ayan. Mika, naka-off cam mo. Ayan, sige. Ano po tayo? Smile po tayo. 1, 2, 3. Sa pa po, waki po tayo. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much po. Thank you so much po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you so much po.
Thank
you.
Once again, thank you to
Thank
Mr.
you.
Makasaet, Mr.
Thank you.
Dabon, Ms. Florentino, and Ms. Olinares for being with us here this afternoon.
And as we continue with our event, we would like to invite Ms. Joanna Manyamusa, Associate Executive Director of People Management Society and this event's project head, to make a closing remark.
Ayan. Hello ulit. Good afternoon, guys. First of all, I would like wait po. First of all, I would like to thank Mika and Aries for hosting this event gracefully and with full of energy all throughout the program. And of course, before I formally close this event, I want to thank and express my deepest appreciation to my co-project heads, which is sila Jessica, and si Eunice. Ayan, thank you so much guys. Alam ko medyo maraming email yung sinend nyo today, pero practice na rin yan. Yun nga, sabi nga ng ating mga roundtable discussion, ano ba yun? Konting pressure, bigay agad. Patunayan natin na hindi tayo ganun. Naging competitive. Anyway, ayun, thank you so much. I would also like to express my gratefulness sa ating MPR team kay Eunice and kay Eliza and to the whole RNP Research and Publication team for making such creative captions. Thank you guys. And syempre, di ko makakalimutan ang ating executive director na laging nandyan sa processes ng ating events, si Sheila Serrano, ayan. And happy birthday din sa kanya. Happy birthday niya ngayon. Ang daming may birthday ngayon. Anyway, ayan. And to the rest, syempre to the rest of PMSoc officer, very hardworking officer. Thank you so much, guys. This whole event wouldn't be possible without you, without your efforts, without your enthusiasm na makagawa ng something like this, as significant as this. Kasi sa totoo lang, yung topic na to is a very sensitive and controversial topic. It's not something that is easy to talk about, and yet we have made an event like this, and madami din tayo natutunan, madami ding perspective. And yun, so I just want to say thank you so much. And of course, sa ating mga speakers na nag-allot talaga ng time and obviously effort to research about to answer the questions properly, the effort to give us the right and appropriate information. Thank you so much for that. Hindi ko ini-expect na magiging sobrang dedicated kayo sa roles nyo kasi this is just a webinar and we're not really giving you anything significant naman. But I really do appreciate and thank you so much. And ayun po, very looking forward na baka ma-invite pa po namin kayo sa next major event if mapagbibigyan, katulad nga po na sinabi ng ating mga host. And ayun po, yun lang po ang aking closing remarks. Thank you so much and you guys have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Joanna, for your truly inspiring closing remarks. We hope that everyone agrees when we say that generational breakdown, the new chapter will be the highlight of your learning and enjoyment.
Yes, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Generational Breakdown 2022 is PMSoc's first major event for the semester. So thank you so much dahil kasama namin kayo ngayon with PMSoc. At dahil dyan, check out PMSoc through our following social media pages. On Facebook, we're at People Management Society. On Twitter and Instagram, we are at PMSoc_DLSUD. And on YouTube, subscribe to PMSoc's channel. We are at People Management Society, DLSUD.
For our Gold Power partner, JPMAP Batangas State University Pablo Borbon Chapter, connect with them on Facebook at BatStateU, and their email is jpmap@stateupdl@gmail.com. For our second Gold Power partner, JPMAP SLSU chapter is also on Facebook. They are at SLSU JPMAP. Their email is jpmapslu@gmail.com.
For our Silver Power partner, JPMAP 𝐏𝐚𝐬 Central Chapter's Facebook is at JPMAP 𝐏𝐚𝐬, and their email is at 𝐏𝐚𝐬jpmap@gmail.com. Lastly, for our Bronze Power partner, JPMAP 𝐏𝐚𝐬's Facebook page is JPMAP 𝐏𝐚𝐬, and their email is at jpmapkavsuimus@gmail.com.
Once again, the People Management Society is bringing you this event in collaboration with its Gold Power partners, JPMAP SLSU Chapter and JPMAP Batangas State University Pablo Borbon Chapter.
This event is also supported by our Silver Power partner, JPMAP 𝐏𝐚𝐬 Central Chapter, and Bronze Power partner, JPMAP 𝐏𝐚𝐬 Chapter. Reminder, in order to receive your certificates, please complete the evaluation form that is now pinned at the comment section.
We also encourage everyone to use the official hashtag #GenerationalBreakdown and #Onto the New Chapter when posting your takeaways in Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We look forward to seeing your posts.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you for your participation in this Generational Breakdown 2022.
We sincerely hope you enjoy the program. Keep safe and have a wonderful day.
And these are your hosts, Aries.
And Micaela, now signing off. Bye, guys. Thank you
Bye!
po. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Happy weekend.
Happy
Thank you,
weekend po.
guys.
Thank you so
Happy
much
Happy
po.
weekend.
weekend po.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much po.